What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? Tell us who are you, James?
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome to the dive bar of the IWC. Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks, episode 1, again. I'm at Ref Marsh. We're at WTR the show. I don't know I forget where we go from here. So I'm gonna, Amanda, what's up?
Hi, what's up? I don't even know where we go because I don't do this.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes I'll write it down if it went well, and then I forget it, and then sometimes I'm looking at a bunch of different numbers at one time, and it just fucks up everything.
Well, it's episode 1.
It's just episode 1. We'll figure out how to do this.
Yeah, what do people expect?
I don't know. With us today, our drinking buddies, the bros in time. We got Justin and Jeremy. Say what's up, guys.
What up?
How's it going?
Yay, we get to see you, Jeremy, and not like in the background of comments when you're just in the other room.
Yeah, our chat's gonna be dead tonight. Our chat's totally dead tonight.
Oh, that's okay.
You know what would be great, though, is if the room was actually so close that you could hear Jeremy laughing from Justin's mic, so you just, like, hear the...
you can hear.
If you open the door and open my door, you probably could if I laughed hard enough.
I was actually amazed you couldn't hear him half the time, because sometimes he laughs incredibly loud. So I go, how in the hell did nobody pick that up?
That's so good. So good. Let's start with something simple. It is Thursday Night Chaser, where we chase away Dynamite and NXT. NXT Heatwave, though, was the big event this week. And then there's a lot of stuff coming out of AEW and a whole lot of news that came out of it. So I think it's going to be fun to talk about before we get into it. I'm going to start with our drinking buddies of honor, the bros in time. What's in your glass, guys?
I got Green Death itself.
Green Death, okay.
Yes.
He's got Fanta.
Fanta.
Was it Orange Death?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Fanta. Classic Fanta.
Classic Fanta.
I told you I worked at Discovery Zone and they had Mountain Dew slushies.
Yeah.
When they got rid of it, I was really upset. I was like, why'd we get rid of it? And so most people don't want to give their kids that much caffeine. And I was like, but I drink it every day. And they're like, we don't think we want our employees drinking that much caffeine. I was like, all right, that's fair. Miss Amanda, what do you got? What are you drinking?
Well, speaking of caffeine, I've got Coke via Mexico, or whatever they call it. So,
Glass bottle. Shouts to
glass
glass
bottle.
Oh, the
You want to hear
old-fashioned.
funny? At
Go ahead.
the taqueria, this was only 50 cents more than the regular bottle. And it's like 2.5 times the size. Someone did not do math. That's my kind of people.
Oh, yeah,
You
math
know
is
hard
tough.
Huh?
I'm
Do you
having
know how hard
Hall of
Malt
Fame.
spends?
Oh, but I also have pineapple shirt too. I'm also drinking. I'm two-fisting it today.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Pineapple shirt.
I'm having WWE Hall of Famer Snoop Dogg red wine.
Ooh.
I really like this stuff, actually.
Is it really good?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I only wanted to not open the bottle and have him sign it one day. Same with Martha Stewart. I
So
feel
there's
like,
well, yeah. I mean, we had that issue with Carmella and her wine.
Mhm.
What I ended up doing is because of the nature of how the stickers sit on the bottle, is I put the bottle in my car because it's so hot in Arizona. Waited about an hour, came back to my car and peeled the label off and put it on like a 4x6 card. So when they can sign it and I can frame it and it's just the label and not the full-on bottle, because it's a lot easier to display a label than it is a full-on bottle.
Look at that.
Very smart.
Very smart.
But at the same time, we also have the bottles. But I was figuring to get into an event, like it would be cool to get them to sign the bottle.
Yeah, they're not
yes.
gonna let you. Yeah.
But I can't bring empty bottles into a WWE live event.
No.
Yeah.
I got 3 empty bottles of wine. You guys have any problem with that? I'm not throwing them, I swear. I promise.
Like, I just want Carmella to sign them, okay? Thanks.
Yeah.
What if they know? What if they let you just because it is Carmella's wine?
I mean, it doesn't have her name on it. They'd have to like be insiders, and security's definitely not, you know?
Yeah, I would have it up on cue.
Yeah.
On
We
my,
held it up when she walked out. We had one that was like 8x10 with 2 of the labels on it, and we held it up. She DM'd us after the show. She goes, I saw your guys' sign.
Boo to technicalities, though. Boo.
Boo,
Yeah.
can't bring it in. You could have brought it in. I saw a trick that people were doing online, which I'm curious about, is you take a Capri Sun pouch and you kind of snip it a little, and then you put whatever booze, and then you seal it with a curling iron, a flat iron.
Yeah.
I don't know if that works, but I'm curious.
Are you really gonna have Carmella sign a Capri Sun packet?
Yes.
Yeah, Carmella, if you're whining here, girl, here, taste. There you go.
I promise you it's wine.
Promise you.
Hey, Capri Sun and her wine together sounds kind of interesting, though.
Actually, I bet you it'd be like a nice little sangria. A little Capicana sangria.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm liking that.
Grim Reaper's in the chat saying, hi. That's how he talks. That's how Grim Reaper talks. Guys, let's talk some of the news. We'll start with the NXT news, and then we'll move into the, what? Oh wait,
We
you
have
got birthdays.
I have birthdays, and I have really great news thing piece after that. We don't have to really discuss it.
Okay, yeah,
But-
do it. Hit it.
Birthdays. Got a lot of good birthdays. So happy birthday, Dr. Tom. One person I'm not going to mention at all because that person can rot in hell. Byron Saxton is having a birthday. Happy birthday.
Oh, very good, very good.
Yep. And then part of the Viking Raiders, Raymond Rowe. Happy
Mm.
birthday, Rowe. And then some of my favorite people from Samoa, the Usos. Happy birthday.
Ooh, so.
So, yeah. Pac having a birthday. Funaki. Grand
wish I'd
Metali.
known sooner. I would have gotten
Yeah,
my
see-
We the Ones bloodline faster.
Yeah. And this one, I'm kind of taking a little bit serious because this man could kill me or anybody. Happy birthday, Gunther or Walter or however you want to call him. Just don't piss him
Yeah.
off.
Yep.
That's yeah.
Hook so sie leben, dreimal, hook.
Don't ask him to give you birthday spankings because you'll probably die. Okay. Just
Can you imagine him spanking someone?
you know, these people, like, fans are so crazy, you know. I mean, I'm sure someone would have to say, "It's my birthday. Can you give me birthday spankings?" And he's probably like, "Okay,"
Yeah.
and he'll probably knock them into the next room with
Just
the first one.
the backwards motion of the chomp, just
Yeah.
boom.
Oh, just the forehand. No, even the forehand would be bad. But yes,
good.
so yeah. Trent Seven, happy birthday. He's having a birthday.
Very good, very good.
And Apollo Crews, happy birthday, Apollo.
Apollo!
Rocky Johnson,
Oh, very cool.
Dad of the Rock. The Rock's dad. Happy birthday, bro. And finally, let's all raise a glass. Vince McMahon, happy birthday. Thanks for
Wow.
retiring.
Yeah, thanks for retiring.
Thanks for
It's been great.
retiring.
Those are your birthdays. Now,
Very good, very good.
I want to say the G1 final, the G1 tournament in New Japan is finally over. I thought we had kind of a bullshit kind of final at first
Mhm.
because it was Kazuchika Okada versus Billy Ocean Spray.
Yep.
Everyone was saying Billy Ocean Spray is going to win, and I said, no. They're not going to have a Gaijin win the biggest tournament to face another Gaijin at the Tokyo Dome. Everyone said I was on crack, but guess what? Congratulations, Okada. Cheers.
Yay, Okada!
Oh man,
Okada.
really?
Okada!
Yeah, really.
Okada.
Rainmaker. Okay. Sorry.
Man, I love Okada, but I think I would have rathered Osprey
No,
versus
you
White.
don't. Okay, first of
Against
all,
who?
Jay White. It would be Jay White.
Okada versus Jay White? Get out of here with it. That sounds dope, but you're trying to tell me you wanted Osprey versus Jay White?
Yeah.
Osprey handed him fucking hit on a platter in this G1. Oh my god, and the promo. Yeah, the promo was just both of them the Jay White cut. Come on. Come on.
Wow.
Billy Ocean Spray's not in that league. If they were gonna give it to a Gaijin, it would have been like a Kenny Omega or
Jericho.
yeah.
Oh god,
No.
I would never give it to Jericho.
Yeah. But he has to get into that because he threw another way. I don't think he could survive a tournament like the G1.
Oh, hell no.
Hell no.
The matches are too long.
Yeah, he could barely fucking be Lionheart Chris Jericho.
No,
You
he'd be
know.
Painmaker. He'd be Painmaker the entire tournament.
Oh yeah. No one wants to see that shit. And you're not going to get the Japanese to sing Judas. That would be very
Ooh.
awkward.
I don't know. It's karaoke, right?
No, but you know what? It's like I can see it now. Like Suzuki would be somewhere lurking, even though he's not really around New Japan anymore. He'd be lurking somewhere and be like stealing my shit.
Are they still not allowed to make noise in Japan right now?
I don't think they can. No.
Shit.
It's very sad because I like hearing the high pitched or whatever. I'm sorry. I enjoyed that. I don't know. I mean, it gets charming after a while when you miss it. Or chicks going nuts over Tai Chi, which I don't understand that one. God, I hate Tai Chi. Those rip off pants. You know what? I'm surprised that they actually sold them on the New Japan shop. I kind of wanted them to make fun of them, but they were too expensive. And of course, my size was fun. So
Still waiting for him to win the G1. I would love it. Tai Chi wins the G1. Make it happen, New Japan.
you're right. That's not going to happen. Jesus.
Yes,
They won't-
Could.
They won't bring they're hardly bringing the Dangerous Techers back. But I love how him and Zack Sabres Jr. are really pro gay marriage and they want to marry each other. Neither one.
That's awesome.
It's the best. Some of these promos, you've got to see them. It's great because it's like in broken English, kind of Zack Sabre Japanese, and then, Zack Sabre's potty mouths.
That's
So,
wonderful. That is wonderful.
So, okay, we can talk other news, but I just wanted to say because I love making Billy Ocean Spray and his fans feel like shit. So,
That's a good point. Good point. So we'll start with the NXT news, and then we'll talk a little bit about. We'll probably get into AEW because all the news surrounding AEW has to do with stuff that happened early on in it. So NXT UK is shutting down. They released like 12 talent today from the NXT UK roster.
Whoa.
Basically, anybody who wasn't on NXT Heatwave was pretty much let go. There's probably a few here and there that just didn't get for one reason or another didn't show up on NXT Heatwave and is still signed NXT UK. But NXT UK is going away. They're going to open up NXT Europe in 2023. I know that it's all kind of wild speculation no matter what way you cut it, but I still get, and I still think that there's this heavy bias of WWE can afford to hold on to people, therefore should hold on to people. And I just don't agree with that concept. You know what I mean? Like, from a business standpoint, it's lose-lose to keep these people signed on because, A, if you're not going to... I think there's a good chance, and I don't know, it's speculation, that at least some of them were given the opportunity to move to Florida and join NXT and didn't want to, right? If that's the case, do you keep these people on contract indefinitely until you know what's happening with NXT Europe, which isn't going to be here till sometime next year? We don't know what time next year. They didn't say January 2023 it's opening up. It could be a year from now. It could be a year and a half, like we just don't know. So by keeping people under contract that doesn't allow them to do a bunch of other stuff, it hurts them. It hurts their brand. It hurts their ability to grow. It hurts their ability to negotiate. If you release them, because you know that if they're not going to be utilized in a different way, that you're not going to utilize them at all for at least a while, yeah, let them go. Let them negotiate. Let them go build their brand, create more buzz and notoriety around them. And maybe when NXT Europe opens up, maybe we'll bring them in then and maybe at a better contract. Maybe it's like, hey, look, I was tried and true in UK and I'm even better now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's as easy as keep them under contract until whenever whatever happens. That doesn't seem fair to either the company or the talent, because the company's spending money on something they can't use, and the talent is just sitting idly by hoping that people don't forget them.
Right.
Yeah. This is the one-time releases honestly make sense.
Yeah, made a ton of sense to me. As soon as they announced that, I was like, oh, I bet you they're going to have to release a lot of that talent just from a contract perspective. I don't understand contracts, but I got to imagine if you're signed to NXT UK and it doesn't exist anymore, there's a problem. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're going to need to renegotiate either way.
So is
Gave me a lot
Satomura
of,
on contract, or is she not on contract? Or
Who?
Meiko Satomura.
She was not talked about today, which
Really?
leads me to believe that I don't think any champion was talked about today.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. And I thought it was really, I knew, because I didn't watch NXT until today, because I knew that it was going to be a superior show versus AEW. Yeah, I'll go there. And so when I saw, the ending of NXT, I was like, my spidey senses were tingling. And I have not been looking at any news this week because I'm in work hell. So, yeah.
Bishop in the chat says, look at those fucking shirts. He must be a big fan of my Rev shirt and Amanda's Colt Cabana shirt, I'm sure is what he's referring to. There's very little chance he's referring to the terrible wrestling take shirts of the In Time Bros, or what do I call them? Bros in Time?
The Bros in Time. I like that. The Bros in Time. That should be a new thing somehow.
we might start using it now because that sounds pretty good.
It does. Get the Twitter name before someone steals it.
I feel like that there was some sort of Mario Brothers thing they used to call each other. I don't remember what it was. Super Mario Brothers.
But I like Bros in Time.
This is not going to go anywhere. I feel like there was like a nickname for them that was similar. Bros something. But I don't know. I'm way off. But yeah, Bros in Time. Okay.
Reminds me of the little tag team Riddle and Jeff Cobb, the Chosen Bros.
Chosen Bros.
Mhm.
Bros
That
in
was
Time
really
probably would have been if Riddle and Kushida actually
Yeah.
ended up.
Oh,
Yeah. We don't book things, but if you happen to see for some oddball reason one day Matt Riddle and Kushida, you know who booked that or had the idea. Ref Marsh right there.
I do think it's not an impossible concept that Kushida might come back and join Cross in some way. If he creates a timeline faction, like they're kind of insinuating he might.
I think he's enjoying being with Motor City Machine Guns and being back with Shelley.
I don't think anybody enjoys.
I'm hoping that we get to see that on the Indies. I'm really hoping somewhere.
That'd be cool. That'd be good. Yep. But yeah, NXT Europe, NXT UK is going away. I don't know what makes it so different. I think it's a wider landscape.
I think that's really it. I don't think there really is a difference.
Yeah, I think Triple H made the statement that he wants to like branch out to like Japan and stuff like that and include them into the NXT Europe.
I mean, that's kind of what they were doing before they did this whole announcement anyway.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of people like from Europe, pretty much not just the UK. They were all like European, like in the brand. So
Yeah, I can see that. I also thought it was cool they named Shawn Michaels WWE Vice President of Talent Development Creative.
yes.
Sounds like a lot of words to say NXT Booker, but I'm into it.
Yeah,
I'm into it.
but it's all about what your title says, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and by the way, I don't know. I mean, okay, this is my first AEW figure. I'm back here unboxing. These things are hard to open.
I thought you already unboxed your figure.
No, I didn't
Oh
unbox.
no, because it was mint. That's right, you didn't.
It was
unbox
mint. This one's not mint, and it has cards in it. It has the cards. I didn't get the cards in the other one.
Yeah, you got to get to the cards.
Yeah, I want the cards.
Bishop does bring up a really good point. If NXT is going to cover Japan, then it should be NXT All Atlantic. That's true.
People don't understand that concept, Bishop. They don't. They don't. Look at like belts, okay? Seriously, it's not a bad take. It's just you're being too sophisticated for the average viewer.
He's definitely being too sophisticated for Tony Khan.
Yeah, like they're like AEW should have like a Atlantic whatever,
Yes, they
Instead of
do.
that-
They have the All Atlantic title, and it covers Japan. That's what he
Oh,
said.
that's right. That's right. Never mind. Sorry.
Which is nowhere near the Atlantic.
No, I know. That's the Pacific because Tony Khan is allergic to the West Coast.
It's specifically not touching the Atlantic.
Yeah. It's in the Pacific, which is the West. Yeah.
But yeah, so I am bummed for the amount of people who lost their gig today. I am super bummed by that. But something that Freddie Prinze brought up in his podcast, the season 1 of his podcast, really early on, was that it was a mentality that Vince McMahon had that I have to believe Triple H likely holds as well, where when Vince would release talent, he would say that he felt like he was doing them a favor. He was giving them freedom. He was no longer giving them the false hope that they were going to be pushing them or using them. Not that they could never succeed in this thing, but that they had gotten to a point where they were done with them. And so to not give them false hope that they were going to be utilized in some way in that company, release them and allow them that freedom. And they're paid well enough to where if they've been like taking care of their money at all, they have plenty of time to figure out what's next. That's also why the 90-day non-competes were there. 90-day non-competes are not there to keep them off TV and cool them down. It's to pay someone for 3 additional months to allow them to stack their cards so as soon as they stop getting those paychecks, they're ready to start making money again. You know what I mean? Like, the 90-day clause is a cushion for the talent, not for the company. The way that people talk about it as such a negative thing to me is so weird because it's literally the company taking 3 months worth of salary and giving it to a talent and not use them so that they have 3 months to figure out what's next. That's amazing.
Under Triple H's like regime right now, it's not like, again, there's no way that they like might not come back. They could all still come back anyway. So
Yes, true. And we are going to see Worlds Collide coming up. It's going to be NXT versus NXT UK. Same day as All Out. I think that's pretty funny. I think people are trying to make more of it than I think is. It's funny how many people are trying to make a big deal out of it. Like, oh, they're trying to. Those are 2 completely different viewerships.
Yeah. And
No one who buys AEW pay-per-views are going to be on the fence about this one. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I think that anyone who is smart knows that it's a far superior card. I'm talking NXT. I'm not talking AEW.
That's true. And Kuro's in the
Yeah.
chat. Cheers to Kuro. Brings up a really good point. Same day, but 2 hours earlier. And since it's going to be on Peacock, you could watch 2 hours of NXT versus NXT UK and then buy your AEW pay-per-view and fucking follow that motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's pretty
We
good,
should
though.
do it. We should do it. We should do it.
I don't know.
Watch along both.
I can be, oh, look at that corner seat right there in the front row. I sat there when it was all in.
Nice.
And none. See, this is where I miss those days. The pro wrestling tees people, none of them were in the front row.
No.
All I know is All Out's had a supposedly like has an incredibly weak card right now. So I've had somebody in our league chat, which shouts to the League of Extraordinary Idiots. They definitely are not too pleased right now with the card. They bought tickets and the card is not looking worth going right now. So
The only thing right now that would save that card, the only thing, one thing, is when CM Punk gets his fucking title back. Out comes, all of a sudden you hear boom, boom, Colt Cabana. That's the only thing that would save it now.
and that's pretty much out the window now, especially with what happened on Dynamite. So
Yep. Fucking Dynamite. Kuro brings a good point, too. They're going to have to follow Clash and Worlds Collide.
wow,
That's a good
that's
point.
gonna be
You're going to get
tough
Clash of
one.
the Castle a week before, and then 2 hours before, you're going to get Worlds Collide. And then AEW's got one match announced for the fucking pay-per-view.
What's the over under of Tony Khan ODing that day?
That's a lot of stress.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of stress to hit the rails, so I could see
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna have a busy day of nostrils.
It's like Tony forgot that Punk and Moxley was supposed to be on All Out. He's like, oh, what if we put it next week? And
Yeah.
his entire creative team of one was just like, yeah, that seems like a good idea.
I mean, creative team of him.
He's like,
Yeah.
let's vote on this. Okay, Self. What do you say?
Well, we'll talk about that here just in a second.
Tony,
Kuro
get
brings
me-
up a good point. He says it's actually the day before. Clash is the day before All Out, and then
Right.
the afternoon of All Out, we get Worlds Collide. Like, that's a lot. That's a stacked.
Weekend.
Yeah, and he has to deal with GCW being in Chicago as well.
That same weekend?
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
Damn, shouts to GCW.
Yeah,
Lauderdale gives no fucks. Come on
Yeah.
now.
that's a good
Is
point.
that the Moxie? Is that the
Actually-
Moxie thing?
I think
that
Moxley
could be
has
super
trouble with it.
intentional because
Mhm.
of the amount of. If you've noticed, it's not a coincidence that GCW hasn't had any AEW talent in quite some time, except for their world champ. That's not a coincidence. So
Yeah.
Brett could easily be going like, "All right, fucker."
Yeah. Brett can be salty like that. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And all right. Also, I also want to say this. The All Out party. Okay, sorry, but the first couple of ones were pretty cool. When you had unsigned Flip Gordon going back and doing them. Yeah, that to me, that party represents, that's Flip Gordon all the way right there. Sorry.
Mhm.
I mean, that he was the original one, the All Out guy. Mhm.
Yeah.
Book Flip.
You ready to talk shows?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Was there any other news?
No, there's a lot of news surrounding what happened during the filming of AEW,
Got it. Okay.
which means we're going to probably derail here a little bit from time to time.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, too, I just want to say that I really hope that Ocean Spray gets the shit kicked out of him by one of the actual best wrestlers in the world. Thought I'd put that out into the universe. Anyways.
Oh yeah, he's in that tournament.
Yeah, and I don't know why. Why?
No clue. But let's talk AEW. It opened up with CM Punk. CM Punk's making his big debut. He comes out and he says a whole lot of things for a number of minutes. Before we even talk about Moxley coming out, I definitely had a lot of feelings coming out of this while he was talking, and I want to know what you guys thought of everything too. Also, cheers to Bishop, newest drinking buddy.
What up, though?
What up, dude?
Couldn't miss his chance to Dexter Loomis the show, dive over, come after the commentators.
You guys have been talking so much shit. I've been fed up. I have to come on a Thursday Night Chaser.
You do have to.
Hello, Amanda. Nice to meet you. 2 years of shit talking.
Mhm.
It's a good point.
Jeremy,
She's
what's up,
definitely.
dude?
What's up, Bishop?
Miss
What?
Amanda has definitely spearheaded a lot of the Delaware talk, so that's a really good
No,
point.
not a lot of it.
No,
All of it.
no.
All of it.
No, I just took that train and ran with it, you know?
No,
I took the ball and like Forrest Gump. Okay, run, Forrest, run. Okay. And I did it.
it's shit on Osprey, bring up Cabana, talk about Ricky, shit on Delaware. I mean, that's basically Amanda's foregone. I mean,
No,
That's
No.
her notes. She's got it on her little
No.
checklist on a notepad in front of her every show.
I shit on other people. I shit on Phil. Come on now.
When it
It's
comes
hard
up,
to shit on Delaware. They got one of the greatest tag teams there. Like, come on.
who?
They got the Briscoes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
yeah, they do. And they have some good talent on there. I mean, thank
Wait.
goodness they, you know.
ROH has the Briscoes.
Yeah.
No, but Delaware is
Delaware
Oh,
claims
Delaware.
the Briscoes.
I don't know what else
The
has
Briscoes
Delaware.
are from Delaware?
yeah.
Remember the chicken?
Oh, dude, do you have a chicken coop too? That would explain a lot. That would explain so much stuff, dude. Now I know when they're filming. Oh,
All
that
right,
makes so much sense.
it's been real. It's been real.
I didn't run with it that time. I was. that went over my
I
head.
tell you what, that chicken nugget pinata was just. I was in tears. I was in tears.
Oh my
It was amazing.
It's a great
It was
idea.
amazing.
I was
Oh,
thinking.
it was
about that.
amazing.
I'm still thinking that, like, how can it logistically work? You know,
No.
you definitely would have to line the inside of the pinata, I think, with.
No, you
Something
individually
for the
you
nugget.
individually saran wrap them. But we went through this.
Yeah,
Grim
but,
Reaper's
you
in the
know,
chat. He does say glad we have a four pod pod going on, and says Amanda's birthday is on the list. Amanda, is your birthday this week?
No, my birthday is October 18th, the special Tuesday edition of AEW Dynamite in
Yeah,
Ohio.
that's what I thought.
of
It was
all
coming up.
fucking
It's not now.
places. I'd rather it been Delaware, to be quite honest.
Somebody would
We
never
do
do
have
it.
a Chase Center. We do have a Chase Center.
Yeah, see, and well, we do too. It's probably not the same as the one
They
we have.
probably have a holding pin for your chickens if you need to bring them along with you. You know how
That's
like
what
some
I'm
places
thinking.
have
That's what
lockboxes
I'm-
for firearms? Delaware's
Whoa.
lockbox for your chickens.
Oh.
I want to know, I'm going to start with the bros in time. What did you guys think of this CM Punk opening promo prior to Moxley coming out? He starts it, by the way, by calling out Hangman Page, knowing full well Hangman Page can't come out, allowing the crowd to chant, allowing them to boo, then him telling to the audience and saying, I feel the same way. That's not cowboy shit. That's coward shit. Hangman Page basically hands tied behind his back while CM Punk does everything in his power to ruin his goodwill with the fans. Stand-up guy CM Punk. Bros in time, starting with Jeremy. What did you think of this promo?
It was literally like every single other one of Punk's promos. Punk says Punk stuff. He makes references to WWE. He takes shots at people in the back, and he makes false claims. That's all CM Punk ever really does on the microphone nowadays.
Yeah. Justin, what do you think of this?
I've said it multiple times, and I didn't give a shit what Punk said. Just, I don't care what Punk is doing. I don't care what he's saying. I don't care to listen to what he says at all. Like, he speaks and I just go, well, one ear and out the other, because it's just like, he's so full of shit. He's so full of shit. He is an absolute ego fucking maniac. And that is it.
Bishop, did you listen to this promo?
No, I didn't, but I get it. Look, I'll tell you this, and I might be a little out of practice, but not podcasting and not watching AEW is kind of the same thing. You just go about your day. Punk does what Punk does, and here's what I'll say. Based on what you guys said, Punk is playing heel, but he won't be heel. He'll just say whatever he wants, and the fans eat it up, and they go, "Oh, Punk said some shit." When Punk fought Kingston, the crowd was legit booing Punk in Chicago. And I just said, you know what? I will continue watching AEW if Punk turns on Kingston and beats him down right now, walks out and flips off the crowd for turning on him. Because then he can use the crowd as part of his character and be a fucking character. But if Punk is going to continue to do Punk shit, Punk's not interesting. When I got back into wrestling, I watched all his, you got to watch these matches. They're fucking terrible. He's not a good wrestler. And his mic work is
Campy.
Charlotte Plus. So he says the same fucking thing all the time. It's Charlotte Plus.
I hated his stupid little
Did I
catchphrase.
nail it?
Tell me when I'm lying. Tell me when I'm lying. Kept saying that. He would say some bullshit thing that was so full of shit and go, tell me when I'm lying, though.
There's literally a video of him saying the whole, on this microphone, nobody can touch me from like 2013 like time or like 2010 time, and then literally he said it in 2021, the same fucking thing. And I'm like, wow, Punk really does repeat himself. Like, holy shit.
Someone tried to say that CM Punk was doing a love letter to wrestling, his MJF storyline. And they were like, oh, look at all these callbacks. And they were showing how all of his promos were promos he used in ROH. And I was like, it's not a callback if you just keep reusing your old shit. Like,
yeah,
you're out of material. Like, no one goes see as a comedian do the same material twice and go, great callback to your last set. I loved the callback of you doing all of the same jokes you did last time you came to town. Yeah.
But that's
once
why
it's
people
recorded,
watch AEW, right? Because it's the same joke every Wednesday.
It's definitely a joke. I will say his fucking cutting down Mox was dumb. I hated him cutting down Hangman Page because it was so full of shit. What I agree with Bishop in that I don't understand how anyone's cheering for him. He even went out there early and was like, I tried to come out with a serious face, but you guys just make me smile. I love you so much. And I was like, shut the fuck up. What the fuck are you doing?
But if he's going to shit on Hangman and everybody loves Hangman, then why isn't the crowd turning on him?
Because they're conditioned to do what they're conditioned to do. Like, they know. Because AEW on whole is really bad about subtleties, it's very obvious to know what your expected place is in the audience, and they're willing to play along in every way. They're never willing to be actually invested, because that would take too much work from the talent. They're willing to cheer when they're told to cheer and boo when they're told to boo. Watch MJF. They cheer him as soon as they hear his music, but then they remember what they're supposed to do and they boo. You know what I mean?
So everyone's a fan
of
everyone, so everything's cool as long as it happens.
Yep.
So
and you want me to cheer that one? I'll cheer it. Everything works
so
every
fucking
time.
Stupid.
Amanda, what'd you think of the CM Punk promo? Did you think it turned you around? Are you now a CM Punk fan? You understand where he's coming from? You finally sided with him?
No. Are you high?
Will you...
Are you high? Seriously.
That's Snoop Dogg wine. I'm telling you, it's not only getting him drunk, it's getting him high.
Did you go do a line with Tony Khan in the bath? What are you saying, man?
Yeah, no, the Snoop Dogg wine's good, dude. It's almost green. It said red wine. I think it's green.
No way. Too bad you can't add food coloring to it. Anyways. Thank you. That's what I think about Phil. Okay. But no, seriously. I mean, I really don't like that, Hangman in AEW has been this dichotomy of you either make him look like a serious little piece, like a insignificant piece of shit. You kick him when he's down. Then you bring him up to all of a sudden it's like everyone's yay, cowboy shit, woohoo. And then now, back down in the gutter. So there's not much for you to bring Hangman back up again anymore.
Well,
there isn't.
The plan never was. So
But-
here's the news part. The news part is that he was never supposed to bring up Hangman Page. He never said he would. I saw someone trying to give him credit. Literally trying to give him credit for trying to bury one of their top talent. Was saying, well, Punk said in an interview early on, he wanted to give these young guys some real stuff to react to and really give them the opportunity to react live on the mic and have a real back and forth to help make them grow. And like, see, that's all he was doing. Not if he's not allowed out there to talk, he's not. He went out there and say, come out here, I dare you. And then when you don't, going, oh, I wonder how that couldn't, what happened? Knowing full goddamn well the guy's either not in the building or not allowed out there. It's a TV show.
Yep.
I mean, that's
also like telling your best friend that you'll go for a legal fee. But anyway, not going there. But no, I mean,
it's coward.
I don't know. Well, I don't know why
he's doing cowardice things. Calling out someone you can't do anything is a cowardly thing to do. Like,
it is a cowardly thing to do. And he gets to like rule the nest because why? He's the highest paid person that's there. And
it's like calling out Big E. Big E.
Yeah,
bitch. Come
I'm
out here
waiting
with your
for him to
broken neck.
That'd been great if he called out like, Kenny, and Kenny wasn't the Bucks partner.
He's not
I'm
man
waiting for
enough
that one.
to call out anyone he thinks might actually fight him. The thing is CM Punk also knows he can't fight. So he's not going to do a thing where he's going to have to fight. He reminds me, when I worked in the corrections, you'd see some COs kick on doors and yell at people behind the door and call them fucking names. And you go, oh, you're real big and tough. And, sometimes your hand slips and the door pops open and you get to see who's really got something to say. Are you still talking or are we not talking? Like, are you tough behind a big door or are you not? CM Punk's tough behind a big door. He's tough behind Tony. He's literally standing there with Tony in front of him going, fucking come do something. And like hiding behind him. Like, stay in front of me, Tony. Stay in front of me. Don't let...
Yeah.
It was pathetic, dude. It was a pathetic promo from a person who came off even more pathetic. Yeah.
He is a pathetic person. I mean, do I buy it? No. Does it make him look better? No. It just makes him more of a douche canoe.
The other thing is, I don't think he understands how hypocritical he is, which I guess most hypocrites would not, right?
No, I think he does.
I don't think so.
No,
because Mox comes out and says, I'm the heart and soul of this place. And then Punk goes, good, you can be the heart and soul, but I'm the dollars and cents. Literally the shit you hated about Cena. Not being on the merch. Not being the one to bring in the money. Saying that you deserved everything that Cena had because you were the heart and soul of WWE. You were the voice of the voiceless. And now that you're taking pride in being the exact thing that you hated Cena for being while still hating Cena. It's not even like when Cena hated The Rock and has walked back and said, look, I understand a lot more now than I did then. And I don't think the same way I thought about The Rock then. CM Punk holds true to all of his shitty takes.
He's literally a delusional egomaniac. Like,
and his wife is no better.
He's out of his mind.
Yeah.
He thinks he's hot shit and nobody else can touch him, and it's fucking ridiculous. Like, I'm majorly glad that I didn't give a fuck when he came back, and I still don't. The guy just doesn't do it anymore. Like, I used to like CM Punk a lot, but I see now just how much of an absolute jackass he is. That it's just like, I don't care. I want him to go away. Like, I don't want to see him anymore. He doesn't do anything for me. And everybody else is just so, like, especially the AEW fan base is so blinded by him just because, oh my God, we got CM Punk, the main guy who used to trash talk, the sports entertainment company. And now we get to do it too because, like, it's just fucking stupid.
Yeah, it was bad. This promo did not only not excite me about this match, it made me, which I didn't think I could, I couldn't care less about Punk to begin with. But now it's like as go away as it gets. It's like just stop being here, stop interfering with people actually trying to do something. You know, like you're in the way of progress.
Them trying to make it personal, that whole segment just looked so stupid, like just so dumb.
It made it worse when they started punching each other, a little slap fight. I was like, you guys are like missing each other altogether. And for a split second,
awkward.
Yeah, for a split second, right before they went to blows, I was like, Mox might actually be pissed at Punk because of all this bullshit. He might actually fucking deck him. And he had softer punch. Yeah. Because I was like, oh, he's trying to elicit an actual response from Punk. I think he's trying to get Punk to throw the first real punch so he can throw back. No. It was a little slap fight. Starks punched Will Hobbs harder in the chin when he came out. Was it 2 weeks ago?
Holy shit.
Zoe Stark and Mandy Rose had a stiffer match than they had a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, you know, God forbid, Phil actually, you know, something real and personal actually happens to Phil. Because when you look at it, it's like you're going to be weak. Okay. And if you want to keep this persona up, then yeah, you got to like kick people out and you have to like do shit that, you know, goes against the grain. But it's okay because we're paying you what, $7-8 million, whatever. Yeah, no.
Mox's line of "We know you're only back because you're here for the money" thing was probably my favorite line of that whole thing.
It was great. You ran out of money.
Oh yeah, by the way, heard this rumor too. Speaking of Punk, I heard a rumor that a certain tax that is charged onto pro wrestling tees before they give the people the cut. He wanted that gone.
Did he get it?
Nope.
Good.
Nope.
Good.
It was
He should
told.
be doubled.
Well, he doesn't want to be that greedy. But no, the thing was told of if we cut that for you, guess what? And I was right. The whole kit and caboodle would walk out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Guess he
That's
doesn't
one
have a
thing
shop
you don't screw with is you don't screw with business.
Yeah.
With your personal bullshit and vendetta. Unless you're going to do something.
Yeah, and that's what he's trying to do. Is he's trying to prove some sort of weird, stupid thing. And Bishop will like this too. It was also proven the dollars and cents comment is already some bullshit. They didn't see a huge drop in ratings while he was gone. They didn't see a huge spike when he came back. Matter of fact, knowing full well that Kenny was coming back this week, they didn't see a spike in ratings this week either. They actually saw a little bit of a drop. They're staying consistent. They're consistent within their they always have their plus or minus 50,000, right?
Because
which is good.
People really wanted someone other than someone who was from the elite, not Kenny, to be their partner. Something not obvious. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I had my thought of who it should be. I had two. And those two, one, you had no rights, no balls, chance in hell. But the other one, like, makes sense. But, you know, Tony does what Tony does, so.
Yeah, and it's just to say that you're the dollars and cents and the only identifiable dollars and cents you're seeing is your own t-shirt sales that you're the one getting the money off of. Whose dollars and cents are you talking about?
Not mine.
You know?
Why do you think he has a figure all of a sudden in the next run of figures?
He's got a bunch of figures all of a sudden.
No, but immediately the next collection, as soon as he came back, they announced Unrivaled 10. Real quick, fast, and in a hurry. And he was the one they showcased. Like, oh, we better give Taz one because we've done their whole. I'd rather Hook gotten one before Punk, to be quite honest.
That's true. Hook's been there longer.
That's Taz's son, you know, but not even just because you're there longer. Because if you want to go there, the other one should have gotten a figure before him. But whatever.
So the rumor is that Punk went into business for himself on the majority of that promo and did not say things as they had planned, and just dragged everyone, including Eddie Kingston. He was dragging Eddie Kingston, saying that he's not even the second best Kingston. He said he's the second best Kingston he shared a locker room with, and the third best Eddie he shared a ring with. Talking about Kofi Kingston, Eddie Guerrero, and Eddie Vegas. Eddie Kingston got online and said, "What a cunt to try and call someone out when they know they're not there." And I was like, all right, fair. Fair criticism.
Yeah, that's the thing about Punk. He's such a pussy. He's really just a pussy.
He talks shit when nobody's around, and that's literally it. He's the definition of that person that talks shit behind your back, and then when you go to confront him, he's like, "Oh, I swear, I didn't say anything."
Yeah.
I would be afraid of Eddie.
Yeah.
Not AEW Eddie, when you see on TV that is traumatized by sparklers and all that fun stuff. I'm talking ghetto ass Eddie Kingston from Yonkers.
Grim Reaper says, your muscles look really big over there. Why don't you come over here so we can see what size they really are? You know, talking about people. Yeah, I don't think this made Punk look any good. I think that I liked what Moxley was saying because it felt like it came from somewhere. Then they started slap fighting and it got phony again. I don't know, man. I don't think this did a whole lot for their business. And at one point, Moxley had to say that the titles didn't mean shit. You know what I mean? Because he sounded like he was so fed up with everything else that he was just all like, I just want to fucking fight. So we can fast forward a little bit. Moxley comes out later, calls out Punk again, and they announce that this coming up Wednesday is going to be the match for the unification of the titles. So now the rumors are why, right? Why would you take your main event for the pay-per-view that's in 2.5 weeks and pluck it for free TV? So now the conversation is that CM Punk's not being easy to play with, and he's either going to lose the title and disappear for a while, probably till his contract runs out, so he can just take the money and run. Why wouldn't he? Or that they're looking to get Moxley out of that scene because Moxley doesn't want to be a part of it. It's hard to say.
Wasn't this Punk's first show back since he broke his foot?
Second.
He did not break his foot.
It's his first promo back.
Hold on. He did not break his foot. No,
Would he break his vagina?
He broke a toe.
He broke.
And actually, no. Having a vagina is too good of a thing for him.
You're right. He'd be way too powerful with one.
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't.
I find it odd that, you know, based off of Eddie's response, how long until the talent turns on Punk to where they don't want to work with him? How long until, you know, Punk isn't positioned that way, or the talent tells Tony in mass the shit's got to stop with Punk, or nobody's going out there, for the fans, the throaters of AEW to like stop giving a fuck, you know, because this is what I said for the last 2 fucking years. You hold them accountable, and things will change. But like you said earlier, Marsh, everybody eats up everything. But if the fans are like, oh, that's fucked up that, you know, Punk called out Hangman, then maybe Tony listens to something besides the sound of his own nose. There's a chance that something changes, but nothing's changing and nothing's going to change. And if Tony does what Tony does, then it just is what it is. And I can definitely see your point about Mox saying, fuck it, I'm out of here. I've told everybody for a while, I can't wait for that fucker to come back to WWE. He's going to be awesome when he comes back. He's going to be so fucking good when he comes back. And everyone's, no, he's not coming back. He's like, okay, watch. He will fucking come back.
And he will. Let him do his Japan shit. Let him.
But yeah, once this thing's done, it's and who knows what. And honestly, not that I watch, but I hear. What is there left for Mox to do, except have an easy schedule somewhere else? He has no value there anymore, especially if things are plateauing. He has no value there anymore. But you see what's happened in WWE. You know, character shifts all over the place, where people get positioned. KO just said, "Fuck it, I'm a prize fighter again." You know, like everyone is that that new coach feel that we talked about the last time I was on Marsh. It's in full effect now. There's a brand new landscape over there. It's gonna be fun. But whatever this, my point for even saying anything was when is it that the talent is gonna make the fans realize that Punk ain't shit as much as they've loved Punk since he came back? When is the other talent there gonna make the fans realize this Punk shit's gotta stop?
It's already starting.
I feel
honestly.
Hangman started.
Actually,
When he cut that promo on Punk, he started it there too. I also feel like how much return is anyone getting? A lot of people were saying early on, just having a match with Punk elevates you. Really? Ask Lee Moriarty where he's at right now. Was he elevated by losing to him?
I'm mad that Lee Moriarty was supposed to be in that tournament tonight that I was supposed to go to.
Oh.
But
Well,
anyways.
he's not doing anything on TV, so might as well.
Exactly, right? But no, Tony Khan put kibosh into that one.
Mm-hmm.
Because, he signed with ROH. Well, what does that have to do with anything? But
I saw him at MLW. He was pretty good.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lee Moriarty is one man. Good, solid wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this. It kind of, to me, speaks volumes. And I know man's bringing up Colt Cabana, but it's the truth.
No,
When
there we go.
somebody, basically, when Punk went and was like, he's got to go. Me or him, throwing his weight around at Tony, and Tony was going to fire Colt. How many people went to bat for him? Hearing Eddie say this kind of shit, and they've known Eddie Colt's known him for just as long as Phil's known him, and it now really opens up my eyes to see there probably were quite a lot of people in the back who went up to Tony and were like, "What the fuck," and stood up for him. Not just the Bucks, not just the usual suspects, but I think a lot of people. Because that's a fucked up thing. Who gives you the fucking right to come in somewhere and say you need to get rid of this person, that person, or you don't have me? The fuck kind of attitude is that? And now with all of these other things, it's like your drama. You were the thing that Tony Khan, everyone used to love about the back was, everyone gets along. There's no drama. Well, drama really happened when you brought Phil Brooks around. Because he loves the drama. He's worse than a woman. So, it's just a matter of time. Fans are stupid. They wanted this forever. Well, you got it. Okay. Is it any good? No. The guy came back gassed. I have not seen any match that he has done in AEW where he was like anywhere near the condition he was in with at WWE. And don't say, well, it's been years and he did MMA. No, he sucked in MMA too. I'm like, what a bitch. Couldn't hang there. It's like, come on. People need to think about it. But, they're trained. That's why Tony Khan needs to have a different type of person in the front rows that are hard cam. They're not these sheep people. Okay? They probably will never want me in front of the hard camp because they're like, oh, geez.
Or they're doing it perfectly because we just spent a half hour talking about CM Punk.
I thought about that too because there's a lot of people going around talking about it. But the problem is I don't think that they'd be willing to turn Punk heel because it only works if we talk shit on him for a half an hour and he turns heel.
Mm-hmm.
If he remains your top babyface champion, this doesn't help him. People ragging on him for a half an hour does not help. And I also don't think that Tony's that smart, to be honest. I don't know that Tony has that much respect in the back I think the idea that you could see talent in the back just not wanting to do XYZ, I think it's very possible. Because I think the people will just go like, nah, I walk away. What are you going to do about it, Tony? You never fire anyone,
That's how the Bucks are. I really think they're just like, not my show,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do. They probably look at each other like, they're just here,
Yeah.
So, the
I think
only
that's why they have the trios title. I think it was just give the Bucks something to do because they're not doing anything else anymore.
They don't care. Their families are set for the rest of
they
their
just
life.
want to do something fun. They just want to play with their friends. So the trios is them to go play with their friends in a sandbox. Like I said, you're going to see them and their friends in this little trios sandbox for a while.
Yeah, but that's okay. I'd rather watch that than the same, CM Punk match, the same Mox match, where the over under is how long will it be until he cuts himself? He's he's blading himself. What's the over under? I mean, but I don't know. I just feel that the only people I think now who really kiss Tony's ass or kisses Punk's ass is because they think in their mind that they're going to get something out of it. And sadly, they're mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Let me see here. What else was on there? Anything else on that one, Bros in Time?
No.
I think we all said basically everything that needed to be said.
I'm at the point where I don't care what Punk does still. I don't care if he turns heel. I don't care if he's babyface. Just get him the fuck out, because I don't even want to bother seeing him at this point. He's an absolute egotistical maniac, and I don't care what he's doing at this point.
It's funny because I was kind of like walking around doing stuff, and I'm listening to him, and I kept going like, "Oh, what a little bitch!" Like over and over again. I was like, "Why would you say that on TV? You're such a fucking little idiot. You hypocritical little dick." Just over and over again. I just kept listening, and at no point was I like, "Oh, this will be a good match." It's just like, fuck, I kind of want Moxley. I really hope, in my perfect world, that Moxley's plan is to literally injure Punk in that match and accept whatever fine comes along with that. I would love to see Punk just actually get wrecked and have Moxley just walk out. Just leave it. Just leave the title on top of him, actually knocked out, bloody, and just go, fuck it, give me the title or don't. He's done, and I'm tired of it. I'm not coming back. Like,
That would be
sick.
nuts. Unless we just get like a freaking like Jeff Jarrett, like Hulk Hogan thing where they just like Mox walks in, hands the title in, just lays down, and then leaves.
That would also make a massive statement that could be awesome.
And then here
That'd
you
be
get the
awesome.
Moxley blade. While he's laying down.
He's laying down.
He just eats while he's laying there and then just
Smears
walks
it.
off.
Just smears it a little bit. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Kick me in the head. And you can hear him loudly saying this. He's calling
Oh.
the match.
Yeah.
I say we start a GoFundMe to give Mox a bunch of money so he can end CM Punk. And I'm
Well, if
sure
Mox did either of those things, I'd buy every Mox shirt that's available right now.
Exactly. No, I'd actually say, what is your, and I even asked Renee, what is your like Cash App, Venmo,
What's your Venmo?
PayPal? Because I'm going to give you some money. I don't want merch. I want to give you money. Because good on you.
Kira's in the chat. He does ask how many titles in AEW are on former WWE people. The answer is half. If you include the
More than
WWE, it's not. It's half. If you include the world title and the interim world title as one, because it's kind of the same anyways, then that would be, it would make it a 3-3. But it's half because you have Punk, Moxley, tag champions, and the All Atlantic. But the women's TNT and TBS are AEW.
And if you want to put ROH in there.
Oh yeah, if you put ROH in there, then the number goes much higher. Also, the IWGP titles that are over there and the AAA titles that are over there. It becomes a mess when you actually start looking at all of the titles in use versus the company branded ones. So you're right. It's a lot more once you get to the in-use ones.
Yeah.
Bros in Time. What'd you think about Danielson versus Garcia in a 2 out of 3s falls at House of Dragon?
Well, I thought it was a really good match, honestly. Ever since Ring of Honor, the most recent Ring of Honor show, Daniel Garcia has just been a whole different, like, demon, honestly. On our show, we've been begging and pleading to see the Daniel Garcia that everyone on social media is saying is a fantastic wrestler, and up until ROH's show, we didn't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen anything of Daniel Garcia, and now the Death Before Dishonor show, and then the first match with Bryan, and then this match with Bryan have all been incredible matches.
I said the same thing, literally. Like, his presentation in the beginning sucked, like extremely sucked. And it's like every time I would hear people go, Daniel Garcia is a great guy to watch, and I'm just like, okay, now let me see it. And then just AEW, they do this with multiple people. Their presentation for people that you do not know fucking sucks.
I'd argue with people with you do know too. I feel like the Kenny Omega has been ruined because I was excited to see who Kenny Omega was. Watched a bunch of AEW matches as he came out and was like, what's the hype? They have a really hard time actually doing it, you know?
Yeah, but they've finally been presenting him so much better. And just like what he did last night with Bryan, I thought it was outstanding. Just having him seemingly like he's leaving Jericho, thank God. Like the whole thing just fantastic to me.
He removed sports entertainer from his bio.
Way to go, Garcia.
God. Thank God.
It's too easy to pop you, man. He did do that. Right. But you're all like, yes!
I'm serious. I was amped. Like, he's hooked me now. Like, I was not hooked, but I am, like, convinced that Daniel Garcia is freaking fantastic right now.
I liked it. I wish that Jericho wasn't on commentary.
Yeah, I could have done without that easily.
So it's awful on commentary. He screams. He just screams.
Yeah,
he's fucking annoying.
Yeah. He kept calling Daniel Garcia Daniel or Danny. I'm like, come on.
I think he fucked up and called Bryan Danielson Daniel Bryan at one point too, and I was like, oh, he JR'd it. Good job, Chris.
Yep. Jim Ross on commentary at one point said, nobody's slapping their legs. Awesome.
Jeremy has no fucks on commentary. He is great.
Yeah, no, when I saw him, when he was on Rampage last week, I was like, what the fuck is JR doing on here? And it made it a little bit better for me, but not that. I was like, I'm just here to hear JR now at this point in time. I'm like, there's nothing else that, there's nothing else I can add to that one. But
do you think so? I thought that Daniel Bryan tapping out to Garcia a couple weeks back or months back, whenever it was bad.
Yeah.
I think I would have done this in reverse. I think I would have had Daniel Bryan win that one, maybe get the first fall on this one, and then had Daniel Garcia win the whole thing by getting a couple tricky ones over Daniel. Just because I feel like that it made Daniel Garcia look like he got lucky one time. You know what I mean? Even in the 2 out of 3, he got a lucky choke, which is how it is in UFC. Sometimes someone gets a lucky choke and it's like, oh, thank God, I was getting my ass kicked. But I don't know. I think moving forward, I think I'd be really excited to see what happens with both of them. I do think that Daniel Bryan is a little too willing to lose too much, and I think that might hurt him in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense, right? I mean, nothing's going to hurt his legacy overall, but at a certain point, are we watching someone's decline? You know what I mean? And if he's losing to guys who are being shown as pretty much like strong jobbers, like at what point are we just watching you get worse? You know what I mean? So I don't know. It was cool though. I thought the match was good. I liked it. Let me see. Did you have anything to say about it, Amanda? I can't remember if you said anything about it.
No, but I know I'm one of those people who's like, oh, you gotta watch Daniel Garcia. I don't know. Maybe it's because, I don't know, the matches that I saw him do on the indies were pretty outstanding, I thought.
Yeah.
His PWG work was pretty fucking good, I thought as well. But AEW, Daniel Garcia, West Coast Pro, they make fun of him. They're like, who's this fucker with the Kangol hat talking about sports entertainment? And so everyone's making fun of him because it's like, yeah, dude, that is so not this guy, And I don't know. I think I would have probably done that booking a little bit differently, and eventually Garcia gets that win, you know. But again, you know, Tony's always in a hurry to, you know, do whatever. I don't know why, but yeah, it just makes me mad. With that one.
Yeah. I feel like the show kind of took a sharp downward spiral after this. I feel like that it had a lot of hype in the beginning with the CM Punk stuff where it just got me heated and hating the babyface. Maybe Punk's trying to be like a Drew McIntyre kind of babyface. I don't know.
No. I'd rather listen to Drew talk. My ears wouldn't bleed.
Yeah, I'd rather listen to Drew tell history lessons and like mythological stories and
stories about his mother and slaying dragons and everything.
Instead of bullshit. Yeah.
Nah, I'd rather listen to CM Punk. Fuck that. Drew McIntyre shit's awful. I'd rather Drew McIntyre tell stories to CM Punk on AEW and not have to hear either one of them. Then tell me how over Drew McIntyre would be in fucking AEW.
Oh yeah, he's the best in the world.
He'd be just like everyone else, fucking doing nothing.
He wouldn't be misused like he's always like everyone's misused, right?
Yeah, right.
I personally like his work when
Marsh. You haven't done one in a long time.
Yeah, I like his work. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Drew's work
got my sword.
when he was the IWC champ, the one that his home promotion over in Scotland. Yeah. Grado versus Drew McIntyre was a pretty damn good match, but anyways.
Oh, wait a minute, Grado and Drew? Really?
Yeah.
Whoa, wait a second. You might have to go find this.
Oh yeah. Grado.
Shouts to Grado.
Are you guys big fans of Grado?
I love Grado.
Grado's fantastic.
Oh, I wish I
Have you seen Grado live? It's the best. Oh my god, he's the best. It was the best. I got to see. I think
surprised Justin with a signed Ninja Mac thing. I've had this signed 8x10 at Grado in my closet for almost 3 years. I don't know what to do with. I don't know anybody even knows who he is. So
I love Grado. You didn't know I love Grado? Oh my god. You can blame Colt Cabana for my love of Grado. You don't even know, dude.
It makes sense that Colt would like him based off the picture.
Well, they had a really great, when Colt first went to the Fringe Festival, they had a really great YouTube thing. It's on YouTube. It's really kind of funny because he stopped Colt for real. This is how you get a match with somebody if you really, really want it. Yeah, gotta love Grado.
You know, as a side note, Bishop, you said earlier that that AEW seems to be plateauing with their viewership, which is good and bad, right? Because you want it to what?
You said that, and you said I would like that, and I do like
you would
that,
like
but
that.
You said it.
Yeah. Which I think is both good and bad, right? Because it means that they're not growing their viewership, but it doesn't mean they have a consistent. So I actually think it shows the strength and consistency, right? So I do think the company stays around because they can bring in that almost guaranteed 900,000, right?
Absolutely agree.
So it's not a negative to say they seem to be flatlining at 900,000. That's a good place to flatline if you're gonna, right? It's better than flatlining.
As a company.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, since Triple H taken over, their ratings are growing. So a lot more people are willing to give WWE a second chance and watch and get hooked than people are willing to come back to AEW or be interested in their hot shotting.
Yeah, I found that really interesting. I didn't look too far into it, but I saw Raw was almost double.
Yeah.
What it's been averaging, which is basically like watching Raw and AEW at the same time. And when Heatwave got almost 800,000, where it's been around 525, 600 for like the last year. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of cool. Rose in Time, what'd you think about the Gun Club beating the shit out of their dad right up in the ass, and then him scissoring the Varsity Blondes afterwards? Or not, the Acclaimed afterwards. My apologies. I didn't mean to refer to the Varsity Blondes in such a way. He scissored the Acclaimed and got his ass fisted by his sons. What'd you guys think about that? Okay. That's what happened.
no matter how many times I see the Gun Club, I just don't care. The only thing I only ever think about when I see the Gun Club is how a 56-year-old Billy Gunn can look that great.
Yeah.
Like, why is he in that good of shape? That's all. That's all I think about. That's all I think about when I see the Gun Club.
Actually, you bring up a great point, Jeremy. With a 56-year-old who looks that great, who wouldn't want to fist him or scissor him? That is the way you brought that through. Like, no, you're right.
Exactly.
Scissor me,
It's what
daddy.
happens. They scream "Scissor me, daddy." They went like this, and they call it
Daddy ass.
scissoring.
Don't.
That's what they did on their show. It's not.
No, I'm telling you
They
the right
triple
phrase.
scissored.
Daddy ass.
As far as I know, it's true. I do think Billy Gunn's the fucking coolest, though.
Mhm.
I don't like his fucking sons beating him up for no reason. I don't give a shit. And then Acclaimed. I know you guys are all on the Acclaimed boat. I'm just not bought into them.
Why not?
Because I think that as much as I use a fart gun, I think that their scissor me daddy thing and their sophomoric not even Bishop, you have a great respect for rap, as you've proven in the past. Have you heard some of these Acclaimed raps they've had lately?
I don't want to lie and say I have lately, but
Okay.
I've heard them at different times, and they don't sound different than the time before.
They
So if
are
I go
never
like
different.
a month or two, yeah,
Now
they're very formulaic.
they call them diss raps and such, and people really got out. They thought it was amazing when he referenced Vince McMahon, and his line was, "I'm gonna make you retire like Vince McMahon," and everyone went, "Oh!" Does that sound like a horrible diss to you, or just a thing that happened?
This is a cheap pop. It's just a cheap pop. Yeah, that's it. You know it's gonna get over. I mean, if you ever watch a rap battle, or I mean, even in 8 Mile, right? Like if you want to take the fake version of hip hop and you watch 8 Mile, that scene at the end, all it is dissing what's right in front of you to get the crowd to react. So
Yes.
like it is technically a part of the game of they're not battle rapping anyone, but the game of diss rapping. You would go for the reaction. Is it good? No, it's
Right.
not. It never is. Their rhymes are never good.
But
And
even
it's so start-stoppy in how he does it. It's more like reciting poetry than it is having any type of rapping skills.
true, it sounds like haikus.
Yeah.
But even then, like, so the line was here: "No filter, I ain't Instagram. We make ass boys retire like Vince McMahon." But even in your 8 Mile comparison, in that regard, he said, "Now here's all the fucked up things about me. Now tell them something they don't know about me," right? Like, how are you going to diss me if I've already dissed myself, right? And if the idea is to lay out a diss and a harsh thing, you have to say something that people will go, "Oh shit, I didn't connect that." But all the things they say are just like
Headlines.
Yeah, headlines. Like, they might as well
Well,
go out there and
it's
be
funny.
like, "You guys' names are Gunn, and you also have blonde hair." And people go, "Oh! Oh!"
Like the no filter and Instagram thing, it's a double entendre, right? Because no filter as in being able to say whatever he wants, but also people on Instagram use filters, right?
Yeah.
You're also on TNT and you don't get to say whatever you want. So it's also not true. And so it's like, it's a cool thing to say in the right setting. Like, it's just not, I had a problem with Hit Row the first time around where their mannerisms were too freestyle battle rappy to like be a performance as opposed to accentuating what they were saying. Because even Top Dollar would go on Twitter and be like, "But did you hear the bars?" Like he would say it every time, like, "But did you hear what we were saying?" And then possibly even put a clip out of what they were actually saying when they were reciting their rhymes. So there's like a huge difference in actual rap talent. That's why I don't mind any gimmick anywhere. I mean, there's one we'll talk about on NXT. I don't mind any gimmick anywhere, but you just gotta execute. And to think that this shit's cool when it's not executing, like, just stop. Or tell them, hey, get better. And then it'd be like, oh, they're good because they're actually good. I've never heard them say anything that was like, oh, well, that was good. It's just, okay, more poetry. So dumb.
Yeah. It's rhyming the obvious, and that's why I've never been that blown away by the whole thing.
It's like if Barney the dinosaur could rap.
Oh dear God, stop it.
Him and his sister. What was Barney's sister?
So you're saying you want Luchasaurus to join the Acclaimed?
Yes.
No. Luchasaurus in a purple mask, come out there and grunt and rhyme.
MC Luchasaurus. All right.
No. God, no.
Amanda,
God,
what'd
no.
you think?
Say Lucha. Y'all say Saurus. Lucha.
His raps would be about him having a master's degree, and they would be so condescending. No, thank
He
you.
just grunt an entire verse out. He'd go the whole time.
It sounds better than
That's
the
a
Acclaim.
dog.
The Acclaim would be like, you're no master, you're a wrestler.
I can see Anthony going, scissor me, dad be dinosaur.
There you go.
Do they have a tail? You know? Yeah.
All right, I need the Acclaim to come out and say, "Scissor me, daddy dinosaur."
Yeah, scissor me, daddy dinosaur. That'd make a great shirt. You know, fingers with a dinosaur tail in between the fingers.
The Scissorsaurus.
I need that now.
Scissorsaurus.
Scissorsaurus.
Scissorsaurus, there you go.
So when
Amanda
we see that happen in a couple weeks, then
See, I can fantasy book. I can fantasy book. I just don't do it because it's too good.
Let me tell you. No,
You're so good at this.
Hashtag Scissorsaurus.
No.
Grim Reaper tells
somebody
you it's Baby Bop. Grim Reaper knew right away, by the way. It's Baby
There
Bop.
you go. There you go. It was just
No, but
perfect
Bishop-
for a hip hop crew. A hip hop or Baby Bop. Come on.
Bishop, people listen to us because there's been quite a few things that we've like fantasy books that have kind of come out there and kind of scarily truly did happen on AEW.
Let's do
So
it.
I think Tony Khan rips us off. It's like, let me have the book for a little while, buddy. Let us have it. You need to have some great things. We have to have a segment with a fucking pinata that has chicken nuggets in it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Have it right above the ring, maybe like 6 feet above, like the Shark Tank. I think that would work better. But
Just don't put a lock and key, because then Tay Conti wouldn't know how to work it.
yeah, Tay Conti wouldn't know what to do with it. Bless her soul. But she did marry Sammy Guevara, so you know.
Thank God Sammy didn't have a chastity belt, right? Never mind. Guys, Amanda, what did you
It's a lock and
think?
key joke.
Yeah. Amanda, did you have anything you want to say about the gun club here and daddy ass baby?
Well, you know, I was there when the Ass Boys became a thing because that was on the Jericho cruise. I think people forget that it wasn't the witty AEW audience in a show. It was on the Jericho boat because somebody dropped their trousers or someone got them pulled down. Besides Ricky Starks on that boat, we thought a lot of ass that boat. Anyways,
Boats and hose.
but yeah.
Oh, wait,
Yes.
boats and holes? Never mind.
Holes.
Keep going.
Oh no, good lord. There were full moons on that cruise. Let's just put it that way. Okay.
Jericho calls
So-
it Nia Jax.
Okay, sorry. I'm a serious journalist. Yeah, sure.
Mhm.
So the daddy ass thing I think is hilariously funny, but what I just love is just how into it Anthony Bowens gets with Billy Gunn, because the two of them are like having a good fucking time doing that, and I'm all for that because they're both having fun, you know.
True.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that. I thought Bones did an awesome job at showing that what they're doing is fun,
Yeah.
which is hard for AEW because because that's one of the things I actually did come across when I looked at the TV was how much Bones was celebrating after they did the triple scissor. And I was like,
Yeah.
he's actually having a great time with the gimmick. And I'm like, I can respect that.
Yeah, they're having fun. I mean, that's why I think the Acclaimed really appeals to me, because it's fun. Marsh, it doesn't have to be all serious, CM Punk bullshit. I'm like, I'd rather watch, fucking, the hijinks of the Acclaimed than, I don't know, this stupid JAS. That's kind of lame and dumb and all that other shit. But also it gives people because I like Varsity Blonde, so it gives them, a good chance to be on TV too.
That's true. I mean, they got their asses kicked pretty hard, but still.
But that's okay. But that's okay though.
Yeah.
It's okay. That happens.
Let's see if we can't steamroll through some of this stuff. Steamboat and the Jericho thing backstage, I didn't give two shits about. Kept it moving. Anything you guys want to say about that?
Hell no.
I thought it was Jungle.
Why?
I know. Ricky, how much did they give you? Jungle Boy did his promo there about Christian Cage. I thought the funny part to me was that I had said earlier, I believe it was episode 1, I speculated he wore that shirt and he was going to get in trouble for it because the cameraman was having a hard time keeping it cut out so you couldn't see it. And then he came out and said I got in trouble and now I'm doing this kind of a deal. And people were like, boo. And he goes, oh yeah, no, but it's true. And then he tried to allude to it again, which to me, more than anything, had a showing of disrespect to Tony, and of also Tony not having much of a backbone. Because if a dude did that and you really didn't want him to, you're not going to let him talk about it either, and you're probably going to keep him off TV for a little bit as at least hey dude, you're not going to just do whatever you want on my show. But Jungle Boy, of all people, somehow believes that he can just do whatever he wants whenever he wants, and he's happy to talk about it on TV too. So I just thought it made Tony look like a fucking schlub. Outside of that, Christian said a bunch of things. I sort of stopped listening and started watching a promo that Triple H cut on CM Punk a bunch of years ago instead. So that was pretty good, that Triple H promo. Anything about this Jungle Boy or Christian Cage promo? We'll start with the Bros in Time.
Nope.
Yeah,
I really got nothing. It's just every week it's the same thing. It's just these two cutting promos on each other, and it's I think I've had enough. If all you're gonna do is constantly just put them out there for promos, don't even bother. I know they're gonna have to match it all out. Just fucking wait until then. At this point, I don't need them constantly cutting promos on each other every week.
Yep. Amanda, anything on that? I think she's away.
She Houdini.
She Houdini. I do think, as a side note, FTR with Wardlow against Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, and Sanjay Dutt in a 6-man tag on a pay-per-view seems real fucking weird to me.
Can I jump in on that? Why did I not like that promo?
Which promo?
Wardlow and FTR. So it just, for some reason, just didn't make sense.
Them or the Sanjay promo?
Yeah.
Them? Well, I think it was, for one, it was already soured by being followed by, unless you saw it, the Sanjay promo was so cartoonish and over the top that nothing FTR was going to say was going to come off serious.
I didn't see that promo.
Okay. I think that FTR was trying to make something of not much, especially when you're anchoring the whole thing of Jay Lethal, you say you're the best, but I feel humbly I'm the best. And you're talking about a tag team and a guy who's lost in Ring of Honor since they showed him. It was really...
So they were trying too hard.
They were trying real hard to make it feel like it means something.
Gotcha.
When there clearly was thrown together we still can't figure out a reasonable reason why it would ever happen. And FTR's out of place here with Wardlow against these three, is all due respect, AEW jobbers. These are not guys who win matches on AEW TV. These are guys who come out, look imposing, and then get their asses kicked decisively. One of these dudes just lost to a 76-year-old man.
Yep. Oh,
you know what I mean?
God.
Yeah.
In an embarrassing match, in an embarrassing fashion, with nothing but embarrassment surrounding it. Which, by the way, I listened to a couple podcasts about trying to break down the match, and I was like, this is fucking hard to listen to. It makes me dislike everyone involved more, and it's trying to do the opposite, and it feels forced. Either way, You're trying to say that Jay Lethal might be the best in the world, and he just fucking lost in decisive fashion against a gassed up 76-year-old man. Forced to try too hard. Who passed out during the match. Admittedly blacked out twice or whatever, and you're like, fucking Christ.
But yeah, he'd do it again. Don't worry, he'd do it again.
Yeah, he'll do it again. He'll be fine. He didn't realize he was in such good shape.
I thought I was gonna die.
Mm-hmm. I could have died twice.
He's faking a heart attack. Oh, I'm in perfect shape.
Mm-hmm. Believably faking a heart attack. Unironically.
I didn't pass out. I was taking a nap.
Yeah, don't mind, the defibrillator paddles that are underneath the ring. Don't mind those.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Those are necessary.
Oh, seriously. But
yeah, if it was AEW, they would cut to the referee for 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rick would pop up, head bleeding, chest, 2 paddle marks.
Mm-hmm. Burns on the chest.
They'd move Aubrey to referee so she could distract everybody with her weird ass awkward
Oh,
movements.
don't start me with her. Oh, God.
She's just in there doing cartwheels in a circle, being distracted by nothing.
Not even. Don't give her that much credit that she has some kind of talent. Come on now.
I think she was in ballet. She could probably do cartwheel.
Ballet people don't do cartwheels. Sorry.
It's crazy. She was really good in the Mae Young Classic as a referee.
Because she was on WWE, and they probably were like, no shenanigans.
I'm getting there. The Matt Hardy-Sammy match, when she got overruled by AEW, she became company ref from that moment on. Oh, I'll just do whatever you say. Because she made such the right call when Matt Hardy got knocked out, and like 3 executives came over and was like, "Nah, this match is still going." It's such a shame, because ever since then she's been just a fucking character on TV instead of a referee. It's sad.
She wants to be that. That's the kind of person she is. She wants the fame. She wants.
She didn't fight it kicking and screaming,
right.
But she did try something else at first.
Yeah. At least try to do the right thing.
Being a ref at that point.
Tony Storm and Kylie King. Anybody? Anything? It was fine.
It's fine. Yeah. Good to see Kylan
King again, but it almost feels like too late,
For sure.
And she's improved quite a bit.
This was a match that didn't mean anything and didn't matter, but it was fine.
Yeah.
I don't want to just shit on everything AEW, but I was such a Tony Storm fan, and I don't want, the only word I can think of I know is not the most respectful one to say. But did it look like she was wrestling lazy? Or that we've just seen better versions of Tony Storm?
She's not dialed in, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know the right way to say it. Something was just off.
But she doesn't have to be.
Well, I couldn't get over the fact that they called her one move "sweet cheek music."
Yeah. She hits you in the face with her ass.
That's terrible.
Yep. Yes, you missed that, just in case.
Yeah, but if a woman does it,
how does she tune it up?
Oh, she tunes up.
She tunes up, all right.
Yeah.
Why can't? Okay, this is what I don't understand. Okay, as a woman, that shit's not cool. But if you're going to go there with asses, okay, be equal opportunity, because you got some good ass up on that show.
That's a good point. There's a lot of ass going around in that show.
A lot of good ass.
Yeah, one of them
I will say,
earlier.
In a musical reference, at least her Sweet Cheeks music isn't flat. And what? It's not. I'm saying it's pitched. You know what I mean? It's not pitchy.
She has range.
Damn fart blaster, man.
Her cheek music has range.
What? Oh, that's interesting. I was reading that potentially King might be go against the women champion, but that doesn't make any sense. I did like Tony was watching, or not Tony, Thunder was watching, which I like because it shows their team. But yeah, then we had the main event. Anything else, Amanda?
Well, I was gonna say too. Yeah, you call it cheat. What is it? Sweet
cheek music.
Okay, and we're not allowed to say, like, Colt, one of his moves is, the flying asshole. and be, the flying apple. I'm like, fuck that. No, it's a fucking guy that has no ass doing a fucking move that's an asshole, not an apple. An apple would say
Colt
that.
has a move called the flying asshole?
Yeah, he's always had that. Dude, that's been forever. Yeah, it's that bump he does in the back, like, the guy's in the corner, bumps him, he runs, flying asshole, he shouts, run, bam.
Did he do that move when he played the Brooklyn Brawler? Because that's the only time I've seen him wrestle.
That's a good point. Yes, no, on TV.
I don't think that was in Brooklyn Brawler's moveset.
No.
But if you want to see a superior match, there's a great 2 out of 3 falls match that a certain Phil Brooks had to put over Cabana, his last ROH match. And actually, that was a very good match. And also, by the way, it was always said, because the two trained together, it was always said that Colt was the better wrestler. So suck on that, Phil.
Oh, you will. Colt can call it the flying a hole, and I think he get away with it that way.
No. It's the flying asshole. He calls it the flying asshole.
Okay, but it's network TV.
They say shit all the time.
They say shit and bitch like it's like no fucking.
So he could call it the flying shit bitch, but asshole's not going to go. It's not going to fly. Matter of fact, it's not going to fly. The asshole doesn't fly.
Can he call it the flying shithole?
Flying shithole, maybe.
A shithole, maybe. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like calling it the flying apple because there ain't no apple back there.
But why do I feel like people would expect a turd to come flying out then?
That's his friend Phil.
Yeah, he did come flying out, and he's their new champion.
Mm-hmm. And he shit his pants.
The main event was the Young Bucks against 3 randos, Andrade, Roosh, and Dragon Lee.
3 randos. They're not 3 randos. There's 2
they
brothers.
Are to me.
3 brothers and a faction. 2 brothers and a faction.
No, that's what the Young Bucks are with Kenny Omega.
Oh, sorry.
2 brothers in a faction. They're elite. So Kenny Omega makes his big return, wrestles a whole match in a fucking t-shirt and shoulder brace, which lets me know that something's not right. Speaking of not right, also, the match finished up as Kenny Omega, what's his name, Dragon Lee?
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Omega legitimately knocked out Dragon Lee with a knee to the side of the head, dragged his limp body into the ring, hoisted up this limp, dangling body into the winged angel, dropped him on his fucking head again, and went for the pin while the guy's arms were still stiff. I love to see nice, clean workmanship in the ring. Kenny Omega wins decisively against somebody in the middle of concussion protocol, and then whispers to him after the match, good game, good game. So I couldn't care less that Omega's...
Dragon Lee wrestle.
Why, does he get knocked out like that a lot?
No, he knocks people out. I've seen him almost kill Hiromu. He kills people.
He's equally dangerous. So it's okay.
He's a very dangerous wrestler. I've seen him, like, literally about 15 feet from my face, almost kill Hiromu Takahashi. The one that had the cat, Daryl.
Mm-hmm.
New Japan. Anyway. Yeah. Hiromu did not move for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm watching a death. This is just, no, I can't watch wrestling anymore. This guy died in front of me. I can't do it.
This could have ended that way. It was really close to ending.
So when Kenny was struggling at the end, is because he was lifting up dead weight, not performing as if he couldn't wrestle, and he was trying to get his bearings back.
Correct.
Because I saw some people saying that it was Kenny was wrestling on purpose, as if he wasn't sure he had it, because he hadn't wrestled in a while, and that's the kind of the story that commentary was. Because I watched the whole match. I did it for the sake of being able to talk shit on it, because I mean, why not, right? Like, what did Drew used to say? Prove me wrong.
Yeah. That was Butch. Prove me wrong.
That's right.
Prove me wrong.
I would love to see something different from anything on AEW, and if the hype behind the episode was, and look, they got my viewer credit for the entire night. I put it on the beginning of the night, at the beginning of the episode, turned it off right afterwards, caught the eyes when I could, and I watched the whole thing from Kenny's entrance on, and I just, there's nothing new. There's nothing exciting. It is absolutely 1 + 1 = 2. There is nothing different ever.
If you go back and watch the very, very end, right before he goes to grab the one-winged angel, Dragon Lee's caught up in the ropes, and he hits him with the knee. You see his arms go stiff, and he goes limp. The rest of the time, he's not able to assist at all, and it's all dead weight, and Kenny just keeps doing it, keeps going.
I thought he was out.
He used the ropes to help get him up on his shoulders.
I thought he was out the first V-trigger, but then he proceeded to hit him with a second one. And then, like, he was just limp, and I'm like, can somebody go check on fucking Dragon Lee? Like, that's a little concerning right there. And then just picked him up and, like, dead weight, and I'm like, oh my fucking God, this is ridiculous. Like, Kenny looked like shit. He looks like he should not be back yet at all. Dragon Lee getting knocked out was fucking horrifying. Just match ended up being a complete disappointment to me, and the ending turn just made no fucking sense at all. I got absolutely no freaking reason as to why that happened.
Yeah, if it wasn't bad enough that Dragon Lee gets knocked out, then gets dropped on his head by Kenny Omega, then his own family member unties his mask, drops him on his head again, his mask falls off. Could it get any worse for your first time on AEW?
Legit, bro, this is the worst. This is probably one of those worst endings we've seen in AEW.
And that entire last bit with Andrade and Rush, it was within like 25 seconds of the show ending. So it didn't even show it that well. They had to rush quick, do the move, and they're like, oh, what just happened? Then it ended.
Yeah, it was super rushed because they were trying to get him to get his bearings back, but he just didn't. So they said, fuck it, we'll just do it while he's still concussed. No big deal. If you watch when they yank his mask off, he very slowly tries to get his hands over his face. Yeah. He's not rushed at all. He's all like, he's like trying. He's like, I'm supposed to do this, but his mechanics don't work because he's fucking in concussion.
I'm gonna say, so he's half out of it, and then they're freaking gonna try to expect him to cover his face. Wow, that's a shit move right there. That's a shit move.
He's already knocked out. Let's drop him on his head one more time.
Meeper says he's got a family. Buck out. But yeah, it was a mess and a shame, and it was all unfortunate. I don't know why they rushed Kenny back, and I think that it's a bummer that they did because it didn't land well. I don't think so.
So can we do the AEW shitting on WWE logic that they brought him back because WWE has got Triple H in charge and killing it in the ratings, so they have to compete, and right? That's why you would do that, right? This is their bringing John Cena, bringing Brock Lesnar, right?
Yeah, it's bringing fat ass Brock Lesnar back, who was just jacked to the gills.
Right.
This doesn't make sense though.
Yeah, they're bringing
you bring back their biggest star who's not ready, right? That's what you're supposed to do because everybody loves Kenny Omega.
Not all of us love Kenny Omega.
It's not competing with shit, so why the hell are we bothering using the ratings for a good idea?
Exactly.
Like, it's so stupid.
They brought still injured Kenny Omega back so they could lose 15,000 viewers.
And Amanda, I get the chance to tell Amanda to her top of her head, not quite her face. The best Kenny Omega match I ever saw was against Joey Janela in AEW. I have not seen a match that he's had that's topped that, and that includes the Okada matches. I've seen all three. They're not good. They're long, drawn out, boring. Even the video packages leading up to it, they don't build the suspense right way. Yeah. But an actual in-ring work, front to back, was against Janela. The one against Mox, where the sparklers and shit. It started off so strong, and then with every explosion, even the in-ring work suffered. He does nothing for me. He's Seth Rollins if Seth Rollins couldn't connect the moves together. Like, it's just
Honestly, since AEW, I think his best match was the one with Sami Callihan when he was Impact World Champion, because literally literally, it wasn't Kenny wrestling. It was Kenny having to wrestle deathmatch style.
Yes,
Like,
yeah, the
So
death
it's like,
machine.
wow, that's something fucking shocking.
Yeah,
That's cool.
His match with Rich Swann wasn't that bad either, but the problem was he kept overselling for Rich Swann.
yeah. Rich
And it's
Swann,
like, Rich Swann, you are selling as if he's Braun Strowman when Rich Swann was only the cruiserweight champion in WWE. I
Yeah.
get Impact is trying to be legit, but you got this guy who's 185 pounds and you're selling like he's fucking Yokozuna. It just,
I still hate that whole bullshit of him beating Rich Swann. Like, guy just wins the fucking world title and you cut that short that fast because, oh, we gotta have Kenny be belt collector. Like, fucking blow me.
Yeah, it was.
again, and here's the thing. So when when WWE does stuff like that, it's for ratings, right? They want to get viewers. They want to get, oh, they're doing this because, you know, they want everybody to keep watching. So what did that do for AEW and their fan base? Like, it
Didn't do it for either.
didn't do
company.
anything, right? Like, it didn't bring in more viewers. It didn't pop them to 1.5 million and keep them at 1.5 million because Kenny showed you that all these other guys he's wrestling is worth watching. That's, you know, that's the mystique of, you know, what's happening, you know, well, I would say early on with the Roman stuff, how like the investment in Cesaro, even afterwards, you know, when they had their match and, you know, just shit like that. Like, where are we going here? What's the value of the people that touch their God? The people who touched Kenny, where do they go afterwards? And the most notable story you had with Hangman. Hangman's a fucking afterthought to CM Punk at the beginning of the show.
Mhm.
It's just, there's no value in any performer. So like you said earlier, Marsh, everybody loves everything. It just is what it is for the 800 to 900 that watch every week. Okay, have your fun. Sucks, but you're having fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of a 2-segment show to me.
well, I will say this. It's also, Bishop, a testament to, you know, also saying that Joey Janela is a pretty damn good worker. Because I thought it was, you know, we all knew that Joey was going to lose. But in the fashion that it happened, I mean, Janela, people sleep on Janela.
And I've seen Janela in matches before that, and I was like, okay, like he was extremely popular from, you know, podcasts talking about, you know, before he got on TV with his indie stuff, the way you talk about him, all that, and I was never really impressed. And for that match to line up, I was like, oh, this guy's definitely got something. Excuse me, but Kenny still just doesn't do it, man. He doesn't raise the level of the performers around him. It just doesn't. I don't get that feeling at all.
It's on Dave Meltzer, and Dave Meltzer making some people super hyped that technically, you know, I don't agree with. Like, I usually the matches he says are like 5-star. I'm like, oh, I was there, some of them, and I'm like, it wasn't 5-star.
Yeah. Kuro does say, while you're talking about Kenny Omega, he only looks good as a wrestler in comparison because everyone he fights is made to look worse. That's a thing.
Yeah,
It's definitely a thing that happens.
he's a hero.
Worked for Hogan.
He's like a superhero. He has to win, and it has to be like over the top, and it has to be a certain way. That's Kenny Omega, you know. And if people don't recognize that now, then I don't know what to tell you, you know.
Yep, he's in his
It's like,
though.
I saw that that Ricochet is doing what, American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah,
and I had to laugh because of the personal shit. But anyways, American Ninja Warrior, basically, that shit's Ricochet already. So, duh.
Grim Reaper asks, what does everyone think about Tony Schiavone interviewing wrestlers in the back or in the ring? Britt Baker doesn't count. I just wish he was able to. Like, they just don't. I just think it's weird they punk him out. Like, I think he's good at, like, delivering the questions and having right facial expressions, but they always just pull the mic away from him and shove him away, so he's kind of useless.
Yeah. I hate him and Jade Cargill.
Stop it being a performance.
Shit, fucking just same thing every time she's interviewing him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Shit, Tony. Yeah. No, that line I like to say to Tony Khan. I would like to go up to him and say, cut this shit, Tony. What the fuck? Do you know how to, if you really want some ratings, you pretty much, you need to talk to people who aren't your normal fan, and I bet you
Yeah.
you'd be getting
That
money
gotta go.
hand over fist.
What were you gonna say, Bishop?
No, just stop the performance of it. Like, do an interview as an interview. Like, remember when Mark Henry first started trying to do the backstage interviews, and he was trying to take it seriously like an interview. He just wasn't good at it. But Shivani has those skills. He's done it before.
Yeah.
Presented as an interview, not a performance. Like the way he puts on a show with Britt Baker, or he puts on a show with the Jade Cargill. Stop putting on a show. Be a fucking interviewer and show that. Like, remember when maybe Raw 25 where AJ Styles was like, well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene. There was a respect to Mean Gene when people got interviewed by him. You know, and you just said that, Marsh. They keep pushing him away. Well, where's the respect for that? You know, and the only people that push away, okay, I can't stand Riddle, right? But how does he treat Kevin Patrick? Like a god. It's like, dude, like, you know, basically thanking him for interviewing him every time. You know, like there's a way to treat the backstage interviewers, especially your lead commentator.
Yes.
But it's always a gimmick with everyone. So
yeah, they can't just be
it's
respectful.
Tony's fault too.
It's absolutely, well, it's not exclusively Tony's fault. The way that they treat the referees and the backstage interviewers and stuff, that's all.
I meant Tony Schiavone.
Oh, Tony's.
I meant Tony Schiavone. Yeah, like his part in it, he could command respect as a performer. He could take the respect, but he doesn't.
Because that was the other thing. You could even see it in old ones, like especially like Mean Gene. That was his mic that he was allowing you to use. And if anyone grabbed on it, he pulled back. You don't take the mic from me. And if anyone pulled the mic out of Mean Gene's hand and he walked away, that dude probably wasn't getting many more on screens anymore for a while. You know what I mean? Like with here.
Plus Mean Gene wasn't afraid to like snap back at anybody. Also, like Tony Schiavone just sits there and takes it.
He's kind of a puss.
Exactly.
Kind of a puss.
And
but,
Mean Gene was, you will respect me and respect what I do. Go ahead, Amanda, and then we'll talk NXT.
I think with Schiavone though, like there's very few people, like obviously Sting gives them the respect, because when you go back and you look at some of these you know in-ring promos, obviously Sting's giving him respect. Darby does. The Starks thing when he got clocked in the side of the head, there was respect there. He didn't get pushed away with that, you know. So I just kind of think that it really depends on who it is, but the majority of them, no, they're shitting all over him and whatnot. But
so then it's up to Schiavone to do it. Then it'd be up to Schiavone to tell whoever to stop that shit.
Yeah.
Well, and the unfortunate bit is they're doing it not out of an inherent desire to disrespect Tony, but an inherent egotism to put themselves over and be bigger than Tony, right? Like, give me the mic. I'm in control now. No. Tony's in control, and that's okay. Because Mean Gene was in control when Hogan was talking. Tony can be in control when fucking Britt Baker is talking. You know what I mean? Let's see. Kiro says, according to one source, that DDT that happened to Dragon Lee at the end of Dynamite wasn't part of the plan. Not sure how true that is, but apparently Andrade was extremely pissed and was going off book. That'd be interesting to know if Andrade went ahead and made his friend's concussion significantly worse because he wanted to have a hissy fit. That's always good. Can't imagine why a company might let him go. You guys want to talk NXT? Because I do.
Let's do it.
Dude.
Oh, wait. You're talking about Hobbs.
Oh, he cut a good promo.
He did. I don't know. Why are they wasting time with the factory?
No idea.
It
was a good promo, but it's all pointless. Everything they're doing with him.
It's totally pointless. I'm like waiting like every week. I'm like, one of you needs to give Ricky Hobbs needs to give someone a bitch slap here or there or whatever. You know, you need to make it fucking a little bit bigger than what it is right now. Because I'm sorry, you threw QT Marshall in it and these fucking idiots. No offense. But it's like, yeah, you get, what is it, 2 nickels and whatever the fuck his name was.
Oh, yeah.
2 nickels, I don't know, 5 dimes, I don't know, whatever.
If I had a dime for every time we couldn't figure out his name, I'd have 2 dimes.
Yeah. 10 nickels, I don't know, whatever, 20 pennies, who, you know, whatever his name is. You know, and then Nick Camarado and his fucking blue, like velour leisure suit. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Yeah. And then I didn't recognize Anthony Ogogo. Was he on the roids? I did not recognize him at all. I was like, who the fuck?
Well,
And then
what's AEW's wellness policy?
They have none.
Oh, okay, so he's probably on the roads.
I don't know. I just like
Hypothetical or rhetorical. That was.
Moment you please.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I know Solo's there just to, enhance talent because thus that was the tag team name him and Starks had.
Yep.
But
Do you guys see the record that Aaron Solo had when they showed his record on his nameplate when he fought Starks? He was like 4-21. Aren't even there at that point.
well, remember Fuego del Sols, I think is like 1 in like what 60 some odd or something.
I still can't look at Aaron Solo and not every time say that's the guy that was with Bailey. How?
Yeah, Mr. Bailey. People call him Mr. Bailey.
Mr.
Marsh.
Bailey.
Yeah,
Marsh,
even when they were
if
together,
you're
they were calling
graphic designing and it's going on TV and the guy's record is 4-21, do you feel bad about hitting the 1 to make it 21? Like, would you just like accidentally give him 4-2? Because like 4-21, it's like, why would you even put that on the screen?
Well, Ricky's already given him 2 of the 21. So, wait, I don't know if that was I don't know, but anyways, I don't know.
I just can't imagine
feel more
making the
bad for
banner to
Fuego,
go there and be
though.
like, everyone will like this, 4-21.
Yeah.
Serpentico's probably got worse than that. He's probably
No, Fuego's the worst one.
Who does?
Fuego del Sol is the
I don't
worst.
know. Serpentico loses a lot, so he
No,
might
but-
be worse than
but-
Fuego.
But he's won more than Fuego.
I don't
I
ever
think
remember.
Chaos
Serpentico
Project
being-
win more than Fuego del Sol. Trust me.
Ah,
Brandon Cutler's won more than Fuego del Sol. I
Well, at
think
least the
Brandon
records
Cutler beat
matter, right?
Fuego, if I'm not
well, they're
mistaken.
supposed,
No, they don't.
honestly, they're supposed to, but they don't.
Private
Oh.
Party just missed the tag team rankings, and they're getting a tag team title match.
And then how is Powerhouse Hobbs number 2?
And hasn't gotten anything.
He's
And
only
like,
number
yeah,
2. He's only
Oh, he
number
didn't
2
touch
because that
the-
whole.
Sucker Punch.
He's only number
Ranking.
2 because of that mishmash of what the hell they're doing with those titles. with those rankings.
Serpentico is 1-30.
See?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
I thought he was
No.
more than 1. Is that
Hobbs
his
is number 2 because we the ones.
Nice. Aaron Solo, this says 7-28.
Oh, they were wrong. 4-21. So they're trying to make him look
Well,
worse.
This is cagematch.net.
Yeah, well, then Cage Match. Yeah,
Serpentico's 1 for 30.
but is it counting his tag team with him and
So funny.
Loser?
I don't know. I'm not going
Chaos
that hard.
Theory?
Even still there.
Yeah, they are. On
Real
Dynamite,
Soho,
not Dynamite, on
28-4.
Dark.
Has she got a match coming soon?
Yeah, Dark and
Uh,
Dark Elevation.
all right.
I still can't believe that Thunder Rosa was on Dark Elevation.
Don't
I
start me
can.
on that one.
I can. It's what they do.
Don't start me
Thunder
on that
Rosa,
one.
Tony Storm, and Hikaru Shida were all on Dark Elevation.
Yeah.
That must mean Thunder's going to lose at All Out. They're like, give her some wins on Dark and Dark Elevation.
Yeah, they're trying to bolster her record a little bit, so it looks like it means something, or it looks like she's getting something when she's not.
Yeah. I
You
would
guys
not
already
be
talk-
surprised if she resigns and goes elsewhere.
That wouldn't shock me one bit. I don't think that they've done any favors to try and keep someone like a Thunder around, to be honest.
Yeah.
And with the restrictions that they've given her, which is clear by the booking, and you can see, like, I mean, just look at the Mission Pro cards.
Yeah, that's awful. That's
She's
just
being
fucking
restricted. If she's being as restricted as she would be elsewhere, then she might as well be elsewhere.
Yeah.
awful. But I really
Uh,
think that honestly, because she's, I think, one that Triple H would welcome with open arms, and I think that he would probably really pick on her to even further strengthen the women's division, even though they're already really strong. That's just a knockout blow that Tony couldn't do.
Definitely.
I'd like to see Sheeta in WWE.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Me too.
I just think we would get a cleaner, more perfect version of her with better talent around her.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And I'd love to see Charlotte take her place in AEW.
Doing it with her old man. Yeah.
You guys ready to talk NXT?
Let's do it.
NXT.
NXT.
I really liked the Paul Heyman thing in the beginning for having to do the voiceover for it. I thought that was really sick. He's got such a good voice for it, and he knows it, and he utilized every bit of his inflections and stuff. It was so good just to open up the show that way. And following it up with Mello and Vinci.
Mm-hmm.
Rosentime, you want to tell me what you thought about the opening in the match?
Well, I unfortunately did miss the opening, the Paul Heyman part, but the Carmelo and Giovanni Vinci match was outstanding. Just the two of them, how great they are. I knew immediately that it was gonna, like, honestly, it honestly kind of blew, like, it stole the show. It immediately just made everything, no pun intended, like red hot right off the bat with how good they were.
I expected these two to have a crazy ass match, and it was exactly that. Carmelo's amazing. He's a champ for a reason, and just Giovanni losing already, yeah, it's fine at this point. Like, that guy legitimately could be a champion whenever at this point. He is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, this was sick. This was a sick match, which, as expected, I don't know. Do you guys, as we go through the rounds of what you thought of the match, do you guys? I felt like it's time for Carmelo to lose. I feel like he's ready to move on. I don't see what he's doing down there except being there for Trick, and I just don't see the point of that. So I think for me, I would have been happy to see him lose here to move on, but he wins and holds it, and there's nothing wrong with that because he's a great champion.
Yeah.
But there's bigger stages out there. Amanda, what'd you think?
You know, I'm not shocked about how great the match was. I thought maybe it was a little too short for my taste, but then again, you know, I mean, it's that opening spot. Hard to say. I am really I thought it was the perfect way to open. I always wonder about Carmella. It's like, come on, when you do it, is Trick going to just take it away from you? Or are we going to see that whole thing with Wesley coming back and they give it to Wesley? That I'd really like to see a little bit, because it'll be very interesting to see if, and I don't know if there's been talk about it, if Triple H is going to right or wrong right there with the whole shit with
I wondered about that too.
Yeah, I keep asking myself, like, because that was completely just stupid. I mean, other people have gotten slaps on the wrist for something, you know, very, very similar at other places, and I just think that was a little extreme. But then again, the old guy, you know, that's it.
To be fair, they took their time with Velveteen Dream, and that ended poorly too. So, you know,
but that one was bad.
I'm sure. I agree, though. I mean, I don't think there's an excuse either way, and everything's case by case. But you know, they went through brand development at the same time. It just, I hear you though. I know that you're a Rascals person, so.
But even the new Rascals.
But no. To steal Amanda's thunder here, I want to jump in too. Vinci's fucking awesome. He always has been, and I'm surprised that he looks smaller and wrestles better than when he was in Imperium. Because I used to call Imperium the perfect version of wrestlers, and now he's even better. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It's fucking crazy how good he is.
It's crazy how much he's slimmed down since the Cruiserweight Classic, and that's fucking nuts because he was a big guy.
Well, look at Gunther. mean, holy shit! I'm like, I don't know who that man is. That's
He's this freaking big now, but still could put his hand through your chest with one finger.
Yeah.
But that's talent too. The whole hand with one finger. That's really interesting. I haven't tried that one before. But I agree that Carmelo is destined for bigger things. And I remember back on, I think it was episode 1, Carmelo had debuted in the tournament, the breakout tournament. And if I'm not mistaken, it was you, MsAmandaJayne, was like, I don't know if I can get used to calling him Carmelo because of Carmella and all this. And now it rolls off of everyone's tongue. That's how great this fucking guy is.
Yeah.
He's so fucking awesome. He's his own guy, his own performer. He's kind of really unique in there. He does a lot of things from everyone else because wrestling is a small thing, but he doesn't look too influenced from other wrestlers. So, you know, I don't know. Let's go back 6 months. Is this the matchup you were thinking would happen? But god damn it, it's the match we got. It was fucking awesome. I thought it was amazing. I'm surprised Justin's still breathing. I know that's like a worse than best case scenario for him is the two of those guys in the ring. It was fucking great.
Dude, they are outstanding, both of them. Like, my God. And to play off Amanda's thing about bringing back Nash, I hope that somehow Triple H can get Trey Miguel.
Yeah, Trey Miguel would be, oh God, that'd be just fucking amazing too. But I'm really thinking, like, every time I look at Carmelo Hayes, I always think to myself, that was one that fucking Triple H, that was spot on. And for him to go from Christian Casanova, like, pretty much he had no time down in actual development, if I'm not mistaken. And that just was like, damn, that's a testament to how fucking good, you know, he was. I was just kind of jealous that he never got to come out west. But I've always watched him and I was just like, this guy is so good. And for Triple H to like see that's, you know, another one of the, whoa, you know, it's kind of funky. But now it's like, damn, he needs to be up on that main roster. I mean, there's people who are a little stale. And I think that Triple H, I mean, now I'm curious to watch the product. Not going to lie, because I did like, you know, Black and Gold. That's the shit I was watching. That's the shit I pay $100 to go to see in LA, you know, at PWG. So, you know, but for it to be a more streamlined and fancier product, yeah, it's kind of cool to see. Like, yeah, because I mean, I've seen, you know, Gunther, I've seen Riddle, seen all those guys in a fucking 500 seat place. And yeah, there's nothing like hearing a chop in there. You're like, holy crap. But to be able to go into somewhere like with WrestleMania coming up, be able to go somewhere, and if I do go, I'm probably not going to be close enough to hear that, but I'm pretty sure you can probably hear some of it. But that's just sick to me. It's just unbelievably sick. And it's kind of awesome in a weird way. So.
All I know is after Marsh was talking about Carmelo losing the title, I think Bishop knows the person that I would want him to lose the title to immediately.
I don't actually. I'm blanking.
Waller, bro.
Oh, that fucking guy.
Give me Grayson Waller as champion already. NXT, what are you doing? He's
too big for the North American title.
I don't care.
The title's beneath him. Guy's so fucking good. I hate it.
I either need him winning the North American title or getting called up and winning a mid-card title.
It's been a little weird how little they've used Grayson Waller over the last few weeks. Because I was thinking about it when I saw him cut this promo today. Or not today, but I rewatched it today. But when I saw him cut the promo, I was like, man, we haven't seen him in weeks. And then I realized we have. He's been there cutting these little promos here and there for several weeks, and they haven't done a lot, and he had a random match. It's just weird that, like, especially during his AJ thing, you're like, this guy's, like, the next big star. That they've really cooled him off and just had him be a little player in this pond now. Like, he's not doing anything of consequence, and it's really weird for someone who's so good.
You know,
they're doing a solo when he got injured, before he got injured. Like, that freaking cooled him down a lot, too.
You know what's cool? Who's cooled down, I think? Cameron Grimes.
Yep, a lot.
And that's sad. Fucking love Cameron Grimes.
Yep.
He's going to be playing with Joe Gacy and being bald.
Eyebrows and everything. I heard
Yep.
you guys last week. Fucking right.
The whole
I still
thing.
really need to know where they came up with the name Schism. Where? Where did they figure out that word? And why? Of all people, Joe Gacy and Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed.
They're going to I'm telling you, they're going to 40-year-old virgin freaking wax fucking.
No.
Okay. I would
my
shave
God,
his eyelashes too.
Live on
Yep.
TV.
No.
Yep.
That's
In the middle of the
horrible.
ring.
It's going to be like a straight edge society moment, but instead of just shaving his head, they're going to go full board. Shave the head, shave the beard, wax the chest hair, wax
Move the
wax
eyebrows.
the back hair, the eyebrows, the leg hair. Get rid of it all.
You're
No.
gonna dunk him in a big Nair pool and then hit him with the power sprayer. Just
Oh, no.
yeah.
Okay,
Can't be
I
great.
already had an issue with like, what the fuck? They manscaped him. What did he do? What the hell?
Yeah.
Not the
Yeah,
that's
they
why
did.
he was called the Carolina Caveman. Okay, and so that took me a little bit to get used to, but if no hair, no. No, I draw the line. No. No.
The Diamond Mine thing, is this of any interest to anybody right now?
No. Get
I'm-
Roddy out of his misery, please, somebody.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
The only thing I care about out of that segment is Gallus showing up. Roderick Strong, for me, can literally just get off of my television. He's so unbearable to listen to, not only because he's terrible on the mic, but he's just so whiny, and he just sucks the energy out of everything. I don't want to see Roderick Strong anymore. Him and Diamond Mine he does nothing for Diamond Mine. The Creeds are above him. Damon Kemp is already above him from 3 matches. Ivy Nile can literally choke him out with one hand. It doesn't matter. Get him to the main roster. Get him to AEW with his friends. Do something with Roderick so he's not sitting down in NXT in Diamond Mine complaining about nothing.
When they kick him out of the group, can we just have Ivy beat the shit out of him? That would be great.
Honestly.
That'll work.
That'd be good.
Work, yeah.
That'll
That'd
work.
be really good.
Yeah, I had just listened to you guys before watching NXT. So when Roddy was talking, I was like, he does sound like a little bitch. Roddy sounds like a whiny little bitch.
He literally does nothing
We're
with
dead on, man.
Bitch.
Roddy
God
sounds
bless
like a whiny little bitch, just fucking complaining for the sake of complaining.
He's
And-
the Luke
and I hate-
Skywalker of wrestling.
Fucking hope not,
Well,
because he ends up figuring it out in the end.
Even back in the day. No.
No, my curiosity was, and I hate when they do angles like this. We're about to break up, but then we all got beat up, so we got to band back together. But it's also 3-on-4, so they still don't need Roddy. Why don't they just finish the jumping of Roddy and then have Gallus jump the remainder of the Diamond Mine? That's what didn't make sense to me. I was cool with how it was happening because, again, following the In Time podcast, the In Time Wrestling podcast on all platforms except for Apple, following them, knowing how Diamond Mine's really shaping up, it's like it's the perfect thing to happen, especially on a major show like Heatwave. You go from a 4-man group to a 3-man group logically, but before the full breakup happens, you get jumped. It just didn't make sense.
Technically, they're a 5-person group if you count Ivy, but like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
she wasn't there. That was the problem.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping Apollo would we voted Roddy.
his Terminator gimmick, where he's literally about to just rip his skin off and just be a metal frame.
Yeah.
yeah, it is going to be weird though when they do the Worlds Collide and we see Diamond Mine falling apart in NXT UK. Well, NXT UK is going to win that one, and Diamond Mine's going to self-destruct. But let's talk Cora, Jade, and Roxanne though.
Yeah.
Amanda,
Oh,
what'd you think about this one?
you know, kind of. I knew going into it it's going to be fucking great. Okay, and it just amazes me how these 2 young women, so way leagues ahead of a lot of women that are on TV. and I'm talking main roster, I'm talking AEW, you know, things like that. Some of the top tiers in like Japan, like in Stardom and stuff, these two are way beyond that.
Yeah.
And they're so young that it's like, shit, I really hope to God that they don't, either one of them gets any kind of serious injury that's going to sideline them for a while, or could like hurt the fact that it could end their career. So I think they do both play it pretty safe, which is good. But I just watch them and I'm like, damn, that was a clinic for someone who's younger, who wants to get into wrestling. You can do it, you know, and just make sure don't adopt bad habits, because that would pretty fucking good.
I saw someone tweet today that every time they see something from GCW, they don't wonder at all why WWE is scouting college athletes instead of indie talent.
I want to piggyback off what Amanda said, because as she was talking, I was kind of thinking the same thing. Where when you look at like Gigi Dolan, for instance, right? When she came in, very, very unpolished, good work. And it's just been about polishing and polishing and polishing and polishing. Still good, but it needs the fucking polish. These girls are so young and crisp. Like, I said early on in my show, and no need to plug it because it barely exists, even though the 2-year anniversary is coming up in a couple days, that when women wrestle, what I think the appeal that gets lost is the connectivity in how women's body move together differently from men. And we're used to watching men's sports more often than women's sports. So watching women interact with each other, they have to get cleaner, they have to get crisper, they have to connect the moves better. Like Amanda said, with them having no bad habits, what I wanted to add to that was proper training now in NXT. So when I'm watching these women wrestle on AEW, trying to figure it out on live TV, knowing that they're not going to go back to a trainer to show them how to fix those holes. I will say that division sucks, because when you look at these, what were they called? Team 2002 or 2001? Like they're babies. They're babies. And they wrestle this clean. I don't want to steal the end time thunder here, but I know that they're not fans of the storyline itself. So if you separate it and you look at what we got in the ring, like, I was highly impressed. Highly impressed. I absolutely love the match.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, we've said it on our show, we're not particularly fans of how the story itself went about. Like the story of, like, it could have been better if it was timed differently. But the match itself, like Bishop and Amanda said so far, it was incredible. And the fact that they're so young, they're literally in their early 20s. Like, they're so new, but yet so polished and so, like, fluent, and like there's no hiccups or any mess ups in the ring when it's those two. And it's incredible to see how young and how good they are so early.
Yeah, I was expecting, like Amanda said, I was expecting this to be good. I wasn't expecting this to be this level of good. And I mean, Triple H put out a thread of tweets before Heatwave of like, hey, here's what to expect tonight. And one of the things he said with Cora and Jade, he goes, no two people will ever fight as hard as two best friends. And he goes, am I right, Sean? And he goes, this is one that you're not going to want to look away from. And you go, oh, yeah, that's cool. It's clever. Oh, yeah, because they're friends. And I get you. Oh, it's cool. And then you watch it and you go, oh, fuck.
Do you guys know if they were tight on the indies? Because I know they were, okay. Because Roxanne was in, Impact or ROH?
ROH. She was the first ROH Women's Champion.
Yeah. I know she did some Mission Pro stuff, too.
She's only in Impact for that little bit, so she could drop the title, so she could go do whatever.
Gotcha.
Whatever. Go be a goddamn star on the biggest stage of them all.
And if and actually, I'm gonna look at it before I say something, because I don't need people jumping on.
I'd say, and that's something that I know that the five of us have always really latched onto is how good the women can be.
Mhm.
And to see two young talent like that, to know that they're, you know, 10, 12, 13 years younger than Charlotte and a Becky, and like the future is fucking bright. The
Yeah.
future is bright for women's wrestling.
Yeah.
Now, can they do it with other people and raise them up as well? Because, like they said, you work with your best friend. I mean, how many times can we watch Sammy and KO go at it, right? And how many times is that match going to be fucking awesome? It's always going to be awesome. Now, fair point. They are great against other people as well, but I'm sure that took time as opposed to knowing what your best friend does too. So let's see how they grow.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's the fact that they were like inspired by who they were, and it shows in ways, because there's some people go like, oh, I'm inspired by this guy, and you go, really? Like, you don't even try to do what they did. Like, what are you talking about? And like you said, to have none of these like ultra bad habits, which they could easily have, they're very impressive, and they have a long time. And I mean, like Triple H said in his tweet too, he had the feeling this is the beginning of a very long, storied history to come. Like, I do think we get Roxanne and Cora probably the next 20 years.
I was gonna say, sign them to 15-year deals now.
Yeah,
just sign them, lock them in. It's worth it. It's gonna be worth it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, one of the things that the two of them, and I thought I wanted to make sure I wasn't smoking something before I said it. I had someone before getting my DMs and told me I was wrong about something. I'm like, I don't know when I'm wrong or something, but you don't have to jump down my ass, people. One of the things that they did before, very pre-pandemic, was they wrestled together in Rise when they were, back in, what was this, 2019? So, that was, they were babies then. And wow. So, when you come up in that program, actually, there were some really, really good women's wrestlers that kind of started out over there. And that's where they learned a lot of really good things. I mean, people who trained them were like people like Paige's mom. She was one of the trainers that would come out from England and train. Some people obviously didn't learn very much from it. Excuse me, sorry. But there were some that were really, really good. I think that's kind of like Allie Catch. I think that's how she was at a lot of those too, and learned a lot. I know Mercedes Martinez was another one who was one of the trainers, and I know definitely Serena Deeb. So I mean, you've got a lot of really good women in there who are teaching really good habits to people. Some people will pick it up, and some people obviously won't.
Yeah,
there's proof right there.
Just hearing Allie Patch's name makes me wish she was in NXT.
Said the same thing. Yep, said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's so close to being. Yeah.
But if you were to look at her like a couple of years before, like pre-pandemic, no, I don't think so. Now it's like, oh yeah, I don't know what.
I think she's like a Gigi though. I really feel like the same way that Bishop was saying about Gigi, where it's all like there's a lot there, but really needs a lot of fine tuning.
I think NXT could do that easily.
Exactly. That's why I think it'd be a perfect place for her, because she could just skyrocket from there.
And then the other part of it too was, now that she separated herself from all of the drama that surrounded her a couple of years ago, because her and MJF, thank God that's behind her now.
Yeah.
That was drama, and people I know did not want to have anything to do with that.
Wow.
No, it was drama.
There was the Briggs and Jensen thing in the back, which was, just more of the UK thing about to happen, which was neat, but there's nothing really to be said about that, I don't think. Santos and D'Angelo street fight. I met Santos behind backstage at SoFi for the WrestleMania launch party, and I said, I like you, man, but I kind of want to see you lose on Tuesday. And he goes, you excited for Tuesday? He goes, and he was telling me, he's like, I can't wait. And he was telling me how much he called him the Don. He's like, everything I've done with the Don has been amazing. He's like, I feel
that
like
is great.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, the feels right there, man. Like that's so cool.
Yeah, and he's all like, I just feel like that. He goes, sometimes you just connect with somebody and it works. And he goes, and I think it comes across on screen. And I was like, I agree. I was like, I think it is. Like, do you think it's like working? He's like, what did you think of the sit down we had last week? And I was like, honestly, I don't always like that, but that one clicked. That one clicked really well. And he goes, I felt it. He goes, I felt like something was there. And he goes, I can't wait for this Tuesday. And I was like, me neither, man. And I was like, but I kind of hope you lose because I want to see you on this big stage. And he kind of smirked and he's like, amen to that, and gave me a little handshake.
That's awesome.
Watching him lose was bittersweet because I'll be honest, I think that there's no reason why he couldn't win and take Legado with him to the main roster. There's no reason why. But if you're not taking Legado with him for whatever reason you do have in your twisted mind, then yeah, this is the way to get him moved on. I just think that Legado's got to be right behind him. You know what I mean? I know. Yeah, Bros in Time, you guys had a few things to say about that, so I'm gonna go to you guys and then we'll swing around.
Go ahead.
I agree 100% with you. Personally, I feel like Tony winning was a bit of a mistake because you've done all you possibly could to establish the fact that Santos is always, or Joaquin and Cruz and Elektra are always right behind Santos. They'll always be protected, or not protected. They'll always have his back, always be right behind him, always, like, if he's in trouble, they'll be right there, no matter what. And you would think you would want to bring those guys up that you've also established with Santos, which is arguably the main attraction, which is, there's no debate in that Santos is the main attraction of Legado. So it doesn't make too much sense for me that you wouldn't want to bring the people that you've spent the last, 3 years now establishing with Santos, along with Santos, up to more than likely the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we talked about it before. Like we said, either way, they're going to end up on the main roster. Right now, it's just going to be Santos by himself. And I think Triple H is going to save a big moment for them to just surprise show up.
I don't get why you would want to wait.
Because a nice little surprise like that where you don't expect it. And then all of a sudden, oh, look, there's Joaquin. There's freaking Cruz. There's Elektra. Like, that's crazy. That's a big moment for him. Like, again, let him, like, get himself settled on the main roster first, and then kind of, like, wait for the right time to bring the rest of them up there.
Yeah. I think they should all go. But Amanda, what do you think?
Either way, they're all going to end up there.
Yeah, I thought this match had a ton of super hard hits. Like the crowbar spot was sick.
Mm-hmm.
Santos diving between two ropes and just clipping Tony real hard was so sick. Mm-hmm. Even the end, that last strike with the crowbar too. There were so many that they stuck so good that I just at first producer lady was in the kitchen doing stuff and I'm watching it and I kept going like, oh, and I'd be like, oh my god, and she like come running in and she goes, could you just fucking pause it? Could you just pause it so I can finish this so I can watch? Because you keep screaming in here. And I'm like, they're just so good.
That finish legitimately had me go, oh my god, he beat him to the punch. And then they freaking got the pin. And I was like, oh my god. Like,
I was so worried. I was so worried that it was going to get clunky and Santos wasn't going to be able to get the knucks on. Mm-hmm. But by the time he threw the punch, even when they showed the replay, he got the knucks on. Mm-hmm. And I was like, bravo. Because I listened to you guys on Saturday talk about, Marsh, your experience meeting him. So, of course, I'm watching it a little jaded, knowing how much the story of the whole story, but at least the story of the match is going to mean to Santos because Santos knows that this match was going to be the finale. This was going to be the exclamation point. So I'm like, when I saw Santos grab the knucks, I was like, oh, my God, please put him on. Please put him on. Because if he falls down and they fall out of his hand, it can get dramatic that way. But it was about, like you said, Justin, beating him to the punch. How do we... And then when you watch the replay, because in real time, I didn't think the camera caught it too great, but on the replay, they were right fucking there between crowbar and knucks. Escobar got those fucking knucks up quick. when it looked like he was fumbling. It was so poetic. The match with I fucking love Tony D'Angelo. He's so good. He's so clean. I think Escobar is like I used to call him the perfect version of Andrade. He's his own shit. He's even better than what you could imagine a perfect version of Andrade is, because he wrestles. He's like Seth Rollins plus Lucha. Like he does everything. He does everything so fucking well. And honestly, I think his emotions vary better than most main roster guys in the ring. Santos, he killed it this match. And again, I watched a little influenced by your story, Marsh, on how much it actually meant to him. But they put it all in there, and they didn't fucking miss. Yeah, they didn't miss at all. I felt every bit of the match. I loved it. That's 3 matches in a row that they came out with that were just so fucking good. So good in their own way. In their own way.
And no one looks weak on it because it came down to who strikes first, because whoever strikes first is winning. It came down to sudden death. Like, it was sudden death, like... Amanda, what do you think?
Me, I'm a sucker for long-term storylines that actually come into fruition and have a clear beginning, middle, and an end. And, again, it's another one we already knew was going to be great, but fuck. I will admit that I was not a very, very keen on Tony D'Angelo. I was not. Watch this, totally changed my mind to him. This was just, the timing was like impeccable, because for a lot of those things to happen on everybody's part, it really, that's a lot of trust right there, especially when you're working with crowbars that may not be real, or, the nuts and things like that. Just all of it. Because at first I'm like, God, they're kind of far. They didn't get far enough. So I was like, oh, I don't know. But it just was perfect. Like it just, everything happened. And for me, it's very bittersweet to see him, especially at the end with, Legato around him, and, everyone's distraught and whatnot, but this is something that we've been waiting for. And I'm excited. For me, it makes me even more excited to know how much that he and the Don, look at me like I know, like how much they really had collaborated and put something together that is this powerful, because you do not see that on TV. You don't see that. You definitely do not see that on AEW. Main roster, I don't think you do either. This was something that I think that was, from beginning to end, it was executed very well. Didn't know at first where it was going to go. I was kind of like, okay, this is just a gimmicky thing. But I liked where it went and how it has been resolved. So I'm just curious what's the next chapter, because there's no way that you can split that. I'm sorry.
I think it's the best front to back story since the $1 Million title.
For sure.
It cohesive, every match really lived up to expectation. And to the In Time brothers' point about Santos moving on, what makes it hard to see LDF stay behind without Santos? So Santos was the only one talking. No one else got the opportunity to shine. I know some people were comparing, like DX isn't DX without Shawn or Hunter, but the Outlaws were their own thing. Six was his own person. They all had their own chemistry on the microphone with the audience. And we don't get that from LDF. So I think that's why it's hard to see Santos leave and those guys stay behind, because they don't have an identity without him, except for awesome wrestlers. So the obvious feeling would be for them to move up as well, but maybe they stay back and become a more awesome tag team, because they've been a tag team for what, like 3 years now?
Even more than that, actually, I think.
That's true. That's a good point. When it boils down to it, that's exactly why you leave them behind, is so that way when they come up, they don't have to have them the way that they have to have them now. Groomver says the entourage will go up with Santos. Oh, like the whole group at some point. I could see that. I could see Santos getting himself in some trouble with a bunch of guys, and then here comes Tony with all the guys behind him.
Oh,
Roman
that'd
and
be
Uso.
sick. That'd be sick.
LDF versus Bloodline would be nuts.
Be amazing. Let's roll through this one. Indy with the women tag champs in the back. She gets a letter from Dexter. My favorite part is Blair Davenport shows up. So this is my favorite part about it. Apart from hating every second of it, my favorite part was she's reading this letter and she goes, "Oh, look, it's him." And she's showing the drawing on the other side. Blair shows up. She looks down at it and she starts reading it. She goes, "Oh, and then she rips it in such a way that you can see the entirety of the back of the page, which was 100% blank.
I know.
It was just blank. You could see the entirety of the back, which had nothing written on it whatsoever. And I was all like, "Ugh, you idiots."
I knew you were going to say that.
Just, why can't your prop at least... I mean, it doesn't have to be in ink. It doesn't have to be in large ink. Just do it in pencil.
Scribble it. Yeah.
Just scribble something.
Invisible ink.
It was so blank. It was so blank.
So blank. I don't... Have you guys ever seen Drop Dead Fred?
Yes.
At least do the note from Drop Dead Fred with like the boat and the scribbles and it's like, "See, miss." Like at least something.
Yeah.
It was
the drawing didn't even bleed through to the other side. It was so blank.
It was so blank. Exactly. It wasn't even the drawing.
It was invisible ink. Okay, God, ruin it for everybody.
I put it back twice because I was like, "Look at this shit. Look at this fucking trash." Just fucking write something.
Okay, here was me. All right. When the woman came, had the envelope, I'm like, "Please, God, no. And then when she started pulling it out, I'm like, "Oh God, no." And then when we looked at it, I'm like, "No, fuck you, Triple H. This is the worst thing you could have ever done."
You know what I would have liked to be on the backside? Another drawing, but of an eggplant emoji. And then be like, "Oh, that makes sense. I get it." But it wasn't that.
There could have been a peach there, I mean, Jesus.
Could have been a peach.
Something about Dexter Loomis?
He likes salad. Everyone knows he's a big fan of Parmesan and salads.
But man, I was so this is the worst. Okay, if anything that Triple H, everyone's like, "Oh man, there's great things." This is the worst fucking thing he's done, and I wish he would just let it go. Please.
Yeah, this gotta go. It's gotta go.
No,
let it go.
Perfect. It's fucking perfect.
No, because if this kind of shenanigans happens, next thing we know, Johnny Wrestling's going to come back and be boring. I want the way back.
And
I
if
don't
they
want that.
didn't do it, if they didn't do it, then what happens when Indy does something? They're like, "Well, isn't she married to Dexter Loomis?" All they did was remind you that they're still married, but they did nothing to tie them together.
But I don't want
Dexter
to see that.
right now is a fucking psychopath. A psychopath on Raw. And Indy is aimless on NXT. And all they did was remind people, "Oh yeah, this psychopath is still married to this sweetheart doing nothing on NXT." We have no clue what it's going to do. It's not bringing back the Index storyline. That's not coming back. It's just reconnecting them in such a cute and awesome way.
They don't need to be reconnected.
You don't like
the touch. All I need is the little touch of them both wearing the rings again, and I will just be happy.
There you go.
What was that, bro?
And wear the rings.
I said all I need is the little touch of them just having each of them wearing the rings still, their rings, and I would just be like, "Oh my God, it still exists. Let's go."
Don't worry, just give it a few months. Johnny and Ken, they'll go to the main roster, then Indy will be up, and then we'll have the entire 5-way of the way on the main roster.
If we have a 5-way on Raw, it's going to compete. It's only to compete with the 3-way that happened on AEW. They had the triple scissor, so now WWE has to do a 5-way.
Yeah,
exactly.
No.
Go big or go home.
I get joy out of seeing the Acclaimed. Okay, this is like no. It just gives me nightmares. No.
Love gives you nightmares.
I can't do this without thinking Austin Theory now.
Oh, I hate Austin Theory. Oh God, and I'm gonna think about the way all day.
Everything they did
tomorrow.
together
Great.
was just absolutely unwatchable, and the last thing I need is any kind of reminding of that. They needed to pull it off like they did the Fiend, or like when they let someone go. Just like that never happened. That's just a part of the history that we'll never revisit. That's what they needed to do.
But when Triple H came back, he wants to revisit this. If this is his whack idea, God help me. He better not. He better hide from me in LA.
All right.
I will find him, and I'll be, what the fuck? Okay.
So one
you
thing
came back and everything was great. And I said, and I almost will not watch your product because of this bullshit with Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis with that
100%.
note that came. No.
Yep.
100%.
I'll take down everything. All of it's gone. Becky be damned.
No other way. None of this, no.
No, it was,
you
garbage.
don't need this comedy shenanigans.
It's trash.
It's not comedy, it's love.
No.
Love. Mike and
Exactly.
Maria.
Rom-com. You don't like rom-coms in your wrestling?
Not at all. Not at all. Grim Reaper says Index. He says, does that mean Indy will get called up to save her man from security? And it says the way will help Theory cash in and win.
No. Grim, no.
See, that's too far. All they did was just remind you that they're married. That's it.
No, but they don't need to do that. They need to talk about it like when the Fiend lost at Hell in a Cell. You never talked about it again. Never happened. Or when the Fiend lost to Goldberg and all the replays only had Goldberg holding up the title. He speared nothing at all. They had him getting ready for a spear, but you never see the spear. That's how they need to pretend this whole thing go down. Just, it never happened.
The bros in time are way too excited about this, like, storyline, and I'm just like, no,
It's not a storyline.
No, they
all they did was
come back and
he opened a fucking envelope that had nothing written on it.
Nothing written.
Well,
Awful.
all I know is it was enough to make me so angry. I don't care if there was words on the back of it or not. It was just the fact that there was art, and I'm glad that Homegirl ripped it. Oh my god! You don't want to either.
Next back because I loved the fucking wedding thing. I loved it. I thought it was hysterical. Just the fact of Austin Theory's celebration during that whole thing was just like when Dexter says "I do" and he just pops up fucking excited as all hell. I was like, this is wonderful. I love this.
Oh my god, no.
Well, speaking of other things you loved, Mandy Rose beat the shit out of Zoe Stark, holding on to the title forever. Bruno Sammartino, Mandy Rose. What's the difference? None. I'm all in on this. Give me more Mandy forever. I do think Mandy should be back on the main roster. I think that she's done all she's going to do in the thing.
In the girls need to go.
But I don't know. I don't think they give it to Nikita. I really don't. I know a lot of people thinking it's Nikita. I don't think that that's the case at all. I think they might even make a statement by giving Nikita and Zoe the tag championships and letting them go to the main roster and just scooting them out of here. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be Nikita.
After what happened on Tuesday, yeah, I don't think it's Nikita anymore either. And I'm just like, my interest in Mandy Rose has never been there. And it's just like, from day one when she came to NXT, wasn't there. Main roster, wasn't there. Toxic Attraction, it isn't there. Like, it's just, I'm ready for the title to just move on now. Like, because even now, like, looking at it now, like, still, yes, I will say Mandy definitely has progressed over the years. Still just doesn't interest me in the slightest. Like, I think it's time to move the title on. I don't get why we're still keeping it on her. It does not, she doesn't need to hold it any longer. There's no need for it.
My only thing is that I just don't think she can do much more other than, I mean, she's already, what she's done though is solidified that this title is not an easy thing to get off her. So whoever takes it off her, it's going to be a big deal. And I think that's great. But I think that point's made. I think we're ready to get that to be the big deal. Because I think that when the belt goes back and forth too soon, people start going like, oh, it's hot potato. Oh, the championship doesn't matter. Anyone can have it. It just flies around. But the second that title gets on someone for 4 months, everyone starts going like, oh my God, what are they going to hold this title forever? And every day after that is just dragging ass to a lot of the fans. And I think that there's somewhere in between where I think these close to year-long reigns and such, do a lot to establish that this title is to be taken seriously. It is not an easy thing to just take off anybody. That sometimes getting that title is all the motivation a champion needs to remain a champion, because Mandy as a character has never had anything this close to greatness. So as a character, she's fighting harder for this than she's had to fight for anything ever, because this is her proving herself. If she can stay this champion for a while and you take that away from her, yes, she can move on. Yes, the new champion will be made, but this also solidifies her as somebody doing something passionately. You know what I mean? So I think that I'm okay with it, but I'm ready for it to be over too. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're right at that point where it's like, okay, we've established this. Now we got to execute. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I was thinking the same thing along the lines of Mandy's character now is a strength. Her in-ring is a little better. It's not up to snuff with, I would say, the top half of the women's roster on the main roster, but is that what she needs now? Now she has confidence in character. Now she has confidence in ring to become more polished against higher talent. Because for my money, that was Zoe's match. Like, if I had to bet who carried the load, that was Zoe's match. It was awesome. I mean, it wasn't on the level of the matches before it. It was. I mean, I thought Zoe looked phenomenal, and Mandy looked pretty clean too. So, what does Mandy look like against Natty this go round? What does she look like against Bailey this go round? What does she look like against this Dakota Kai we just saw? So Mandy having the character confidence now, the microphone awareness, the presence now. Remember when we talked about this when Mandy first showed up? It might have been on episode 1, that it seemed like on SmackDown or Raw that the arena was too big for Mandy. But maybe on NXT, Mandy might be a little bit too big for the arena. I think she fits inside of Raw and SmackDown now as a character. I think her presence is big enough to stand on that stage and feel like she belongs. Not just a token hot chick who can kind of wrestle, but as a character, especially when she can come up with the fact that, I've been, I was women's champion in NXT for over 200 days, 300 days, however long it's been. She can bring that with her. So now even her first program on the main roster would be about respect for how good she is, as opposed to, we got nothing going on, let's figure something out.
Yep. Amanda?
Well, you know how I feel about Mandy. I love Mandy. I'm a little shocked about this one because I thought, we're picking up where the momentum where Zoe Stark left off when she got injured. But I don't know. Now that you bring up maybe that's what they're going to do with her and Nikita. Okay, cool. But I kind of feel like, well, with Gigi and JC not having the titles anymore, and Mandy just has it. It's like, what now? Because they're kind of like I know they're like, oh, we need to, they're revamping themselves, but I think it's time to move on, Yeah. But I don't know who could take that spot for Mandy. I mean, there's a couple people, but I don't think they're ready for it yet. I think it's way too soon to do Cora and Roxanne.
Or
I think
Alba Fire.
That's the one. I mean, you guys said it on Saturday. I believe it was episode 1 that you guys did that. But that's who it is. Alba Fire's the one, and she's so good that say 3 words, have a match, and she's now your champion, and then she can carry it afterwards.
Yeah, because she could definitely carry it afterwards, and you can make that splash. Because she's been getting these wins. Mandy could definitely be underestimating her. She can get that win. Mandy's shocked, like, oh my God, I didn't even know who this person was, and they just beat the shit out of me. Mandy moves on, and now Alba Fire's like, who wants to try me next? And she's already top shit. Like, she could do it. She could easily.
And I think that's why you can't put your finger on who can win, because you don't know who can carry it afterwards. And it's Alba Fire. She's the only one that can really carry it afterwards. especially since it seems like you guys are saying with Zoe and Nikita moving on. I can see that happening too, but I don't think Nikita's ready to stay up top. So maybe they lose in a way where Zoe stays and Nikita goes back. But because Zoe's ready, she's so fucking good.
Zoe's ready. The reason I think that Nikita could go is if they were a tag team.
Yeah.
Because she'd be able to pick up more. She's picking it up fast. She just needs to be around the right people, around the right time. And in tag matches, you're kind of tucked away. You know what I mean? So it's like she can be protected.
You know who I'm waiting to see
I don't.
wear the belt is Tiffany Stratton.
Yes.
Yes.
Really, oh my gosh, she's really grown on me. Oh my God, I love
Yes.
that bitch.
She's got championship
she
coming up
do?
for sure.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the Wendy and Tiffany segment?
Well, you know me, I'm very biased. I'm on that choo-choo train. But this is going to be really great. I kind of love their storyline because, you know, Tiffany does Tiffany and it's fucking awesome. And this mean Wendy Chu is kind of awesome too, because you're like, she don't play. This is girls wearing a goddamn black freaking onesie. The girl bitch means business.
Yep.
Okay, it would have been great. Again, like I said, slippers with ducks on it or sharks.
Sharks,
saw-
ducks aren't evil. Fuck.
Okay, I have a pair, and one day I will, when I clear my storage out, I will show them. And I think they're kind of evilish. Okay, they're Peeps slippers that are the chicks, and they look kind of evil. All right,
Okay, but those aren't ducks.
No, they're Peeps. You know, like the
Exactly. Which is not a duck, so it's still not
It's
evil.
a bird, but it's yellow. It's a bird. Listen, it's a candy bird. Okay,
Ducks aren't candy.
that's evil. Yeah, I know. It's
Evil like a candy bird.
like a candy bird. Those bastards.
You know what?
No.
You take those, you put them in a pinata, you have a birthday party. That's what you do.
Well, yeah,
No,
you
no,
could do that.
it doesn't
That
work.
doesn't a
No,
pinata
it
for
doesn't
sure.
work. Doesn't
An
work.
egg-shaped
It's a
pinata.
dessert pinata. You need two.
No, they don't need a pinata. No. They actually sell Peeps pinatas. I've seen them at the Mexican grocery store. The bunny. I hate the bunny. It's non-natural. Anyways, you can have evil Peep slippers. I have a pair. I will show you. Okay, I have.
Can't
So
wait.
you can have evil duck slippers. Okay, mallard ducks are looking kind of evil.
Mhm,
You know.
mhm. All right.
Remember the story, the ugly duckling? Okay.
Does anybody
What
else
need
have
I
anything
say
to
more?
say about the Chew or Stratton thing?
It was a great package they put together.
It was awesome. I thought they did an awesome job with it. Both those people are carrying their characters so fucking well and pristine that it's almost like hard to imagine them not on the main roster, but then you realize they're still tuning it up in ring.
Yeah.
They got the character down so good.
Well, no, but when you look at Wendy Chu on all her athleticism and her gymnast kind of qualities to her, there's a lot of shit's like, whoa, you make
Oh,
that
yeah.
work. It doesn't seem like, okay,
Yeah.
you're forcing someone to do it. Because a lot of women who are like that, it looks like, oh, I'm a gymnast and woo, okay.
Yeah. Well, she's an Olympic
Wendy
gymnast,
makes-
so.
Yeah.
My only thing about it is I wish they'd progress it because it's really kind of feels like it's going nowhere right now.
Yeah.
On the other side, it'll be more interesting, but this is our train we're on.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything to say about this Super Diva, this video package about Quincy?
Wow.
I've seen clips of him from Level Up,
Yeah.
and he is very beloved by fans. I can tell you that much. From what
Yeah.
I've seen, he's so over from the Level Up crowd. So I would assume it would probably transfer over to NXT. I haven't seen much of his work, but
Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. I guess I'm also like, so I'm in a weird boat where it's like, if it turned out a straight dude was doing this, does that make it okay? Like, that's kind of how I like look at a lot of these characters. Is the character okay because, like, if you have to make an excuse to make it okay, maybe it's not really okay. Like, anytime someone says, it's okay, I can say that because of this, maybe it's not okay you said that. You know what I mean? This character is so stereotypical that I don't find it very entertaining, if that makes sense. Like, it's fine if that's who he is and that's how he is. Cool. But I'm not going to, by default, find you entertaining just because that's how you are. Like, I'm going to need something a lot deeper than that. And this was almost cartoonishly stereotypical for me, and so I'm hoping for more depth from this character as we go. But as a first glance, I get who he is and what we'll be seeing, and I guess we'll see how that plays out. That's kind of my whole thing on it. Is that fair? Go ahead.
No, I'd say this is exactly what I wanted to talk about. A big reason for why I came on tonight. And thanks for having me on. When the promo came up, I was trying to tweet. I was trying to say something about it. And there was nothing I could put into letters on an app that would have sounded sensitive, that would have sounded accepting, that would have sounded like I wasn't like batting against it for, let's say, what stands out.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Marsh, I agree with your critiques. Because what I saw was someone who knows who they are and is trying to overshow us who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't translate because I have several friends in the alphabet community, if you will. And there's many layers to that community. And the ones who are overtly certain ways or subdued in certain ways, it's never a judgment because it's who they are.
Yeah.
So if Quincy is this person, then when the over accentuations of the sexuality comes out, it would look more natural. And because when he's trying to look seductive or lick his lips or position himself in certain ways, it comes off lacking the authenticity of the action. Not saying it's not authentic to the person or the character, but the action itself. It's like you're trying too hard.
Yeah.
Your disposition, your words have already informed me what's going on. I don't need you to over accentuate mannerisms that really don't fit what you're doing. And in doing that, it took me out. So like my thing was basically how I judged Bianca Belair when she won the Rumble. It's like, you only got so many weeks to land this. You only have so many weeks to prove that this is legit. And you can't say that you only have so much room to prove this character legit if it's who they are. Like you said, like if a person of this community is being this character, who am I to say that it's not them? But if your performance of the character doesn't translate to that's who you are, I can't buy in.
Mm-hmm.
So if Xia Li wants to be a Asian martial artist badass, but can't throw a kick, then like I'm not gonna buy in. You know, it's so that's how I felt. I was like, you know, I'm here for it. I'd love to support it. I would like to see where it goes.
Yeah.
You're not clicking because it seems like you're acting, not performing.
Yeah. It almost felt like someone was directing on the other side of the camera saying, no, more, but do more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bring it up. Like, take it to 11. You know what I mean? Where someone's like not just being authentically themselves. Like, I get it. Stone Cold says he was himself turned up to 11. But being a shit-talking Southerner who kicks people, that just means he's wiggling his head now instead of just jabbering his jaw. You know what I mean? Like, it's
and that took years.
And it took years. But I'm saying it's little details that take you to 11, where this felt like a huge crank up into an exaggeration, which was a little uncomfortable. And so I was like, you feel exaggerated, and so I guess I'm going to see where we go. Like, this is your first time. We're learning. It's developmental, all those things where it's like, I'm not against it. I don't hate it, but I'm definitely not connecting, and I definitely need to see some more depth, and I definitely don't feel like I'm seeing who you are. And that's weird. If that is who you are, why am I not feeling that? Like something's missing there, right? You got to do something to help me connect because we're all trying to. You know what I mean? Anybody else have anything to say before we talk main event? Yeah. And we're definitely...
Fuck it. I'll throw it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Without seeing him wrestle, what's his ceiling as a character in those mannerisms?
Goldust.
Very high.
Lenny Kiss?
His
Yeah,
ceiling would be like a Goldust type character that's used to incite.
And, right, just like an antagonist, right?
Yeah.
No real momentum going, just an antagonist, and that kind of sucks. But that's also what that performance felt like. Is that I'm going to use these mannerisms and these characteristics to get at you, not show you why I'm good at wrestling. Because in the end, it is all about the wrestling. Joe Gacy's going to get in your head to out wrestle you.
Yeah.
You know, so like whatever the character is going to do, it feels like the ceiling for Quincy would be antagonist. But I figured I'd throw that out there.
From the Gacy standpoint, initially when Gacy first came out, like guys like Clump hated him because he felt like he was disingenuous. And then as we got more and more, he realized he is disingenuous and you are supposed to hate him. He is the kind of guy who would use your own verbiage against you. The kind of guy who would see that you find inclusion to be positive, so use it to do something negative. Well, this guy gave no indication. I don't know if I'm supposed to cheer for you or boo you. Like, you're super cocky, super egotistical, but I think I'm supposed to cheer you. Yeah.
It felt heel to me. Yeah.
It felt very heelish, but also very much like, but accept me and love me. And you go, okay, wait, am I supposed to cheer you? Because you said a lot of things with ego. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm curious to see where it comes through. We'll see. I do think it'd be fun at some point for us to talk a little bit about Effie, just to piss off the whole internet, because I feel like there's a lot there. But we do have a main event. Braun Breaker, JD McDonough, NXT Championship, Heat Wave. Braun Breaker wins. Tyler Bate comes out, says, "You got a shiny belt? I got a shiny belt. Let's see how shiny we can get with each other." Oi, you've got a shiny belt? So do I.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna get up in your chimney and shim.
What?
Yeah.
Does he really sound like that?
Yeah. Bishop was drinking. I think he's dead. He
Oh
was
my
drinking at the
god.
time. I think he's dead now. But it's all right. Sometimes the Bishop's got to go down. Yeah. But the match in and of itself, the opening part of this match, Braun Breaker's a fucking football player. As they say across the pond, a footballer. And here he was chain wrestling at the beginning. Reversing, locking. Like, I couldn't believe it. He was catch wrestling. Like, very well.
When he slid under McDonough to grab the arm to put it behind his back, I said, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
He shouldn't move that quick. He is fucking awesome.
He's all power, all speed, all intensity. Everything he says he is, which is fucking crazy because he talks a big game. He has crazy eyes. Like, even when Tyler Bate came in there and was all like, oi, shiny. Fucking Braun Breaker's looking at him. He's all like, yeah, let's get shiny. And you're like, fuck, dude, what does that mean? But now you want to see him fight. He's got crazy eyes, and then now you're seeing him do technical stuff. It's not just him grabbing someone and throwing him 7 feet behind him because he can't. He's not just pressing a guy up and seeing how many yards he can chuck him for a field goal. He was actually twisting this dude up, and as JD, the Irish ace, was doing everything he could to twist his way out of it, Braun had another way to twist him back into it. And that was super impressive to see from a power football player against a technical catch wrestler. To see Braun be like, no, I could do this shit too, dude. That was fucking cool to me. So for me, I was super excited by this match, especially the beginning. And it got more and more into what it was. It wasn't overly long. Really good. I like Tyler Bate. I'm into it. I am into it. What did you guys think? We'll start with the brothers' time. What do you guys think?
The match, like you said, it was great. It's always great to see Braun Breaker expand himself outside of just speed and intensity and strength and power, and to see him do some technical stuff was honestly just a really nice touch. JD himself, just the way the story, and he was trying to like put himself over as like a master of pain, and like he knows all like the nerve holds and the this much pressure to break your collarbone type person, like super statistical. It was, I couldn't really get into it. And I don't think personally it had enough time to get you interested, or get me interested, I should say. But the match in it itself just did exactly what it needed to do. It was great. Tyler Bate, I've been saying it for a long time. Tyler Bate should have been on NXT Black and Gold, should have been on NXT 2.0 for quite a while now. I saw a lot of people on social media ragging on the fact that they basically spoiled the entire UK Championship tournament in one night because not a single tournament match aired, and Tyler Bate just came out with the title, which, sure, that's a fair criticism, but what else can you really do at that point?
Especially when you're immediately firing everybody in the tournament next day.
Yeah. Yeah, literally. And Breaker and Bate, honestly, just the sound of that is incredible. Just inject that into my blood system. Give me it for 40 minutes. Give me a classic.
Dude, we're going to get 2 big, strong boys. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
1 ring, 2 big, strong boys. Shiny. Justin, what'd you think?
It was nice to see something different out of Braun. Yeah. You know, he's not just the same thing that we see every time, like Mr. Intensity himself, you know, like seeing him like chain wrestle is actually really fucking cool. Like, you don't see a lot of like beefy looking guys like that can actually chain wrestle. So seeing him do it was nice. Guy is fantastic. Absolutely love JD McDonough. I'm still kind of trying to adjust to this new character, this whole, well, this bone is connected to that bone, and if I just go for this one here, your shoulder's disconnected, or your arm is friggin' is useless. Like, I can get used to it. Like, it's kind of interesting, because if he's going to constantly go out there to people and just go, don't worry, you want to fuck with me, I could break your wrist. All I have to do is go here and twist that direction. It's like, should be fine with it. Like, I thought the match was really, really good. Like, the story building up to it wasn't really like drawing me into it, but in the end, match was really good. Super pumped for Bate and Breaker. Like, I honestly thought that when he came out and you started seeing all the UK people like earlier in the show, I was like, the only conclusions I came up to, because I didn't immediately just think Worlds Collide, I thought it was something different. Like, I almost thought it was like a bunch of the UK people were getting called up, or some of them were just going to be in NXT for a little while, or maybe they were going to like merge the 2 NXTs like together, because honestly, those UK people deserve to be on television. They are that fucking good. So if you merge them with NXT, you get a chance to put them on TV finally, so they can start getting some recognition instead of just being lost thoughts on the freaking network.
Yo,
but
are we going to get Maiko Satomura against Mandy Rose?
Yes, probably.
Oh my God. How good is that for Mandy?
Mandy's doomed. She's going to get wrecked.
Well, how good is she going to look in that match?
First
probably
off,
not. It's
probably not good. Stupid.
Destroyed.
Look, she may get
well,
destroyed,
that's the thing,
but how much is she going to learn out of that?
Exactly. She is going to, because the thing about Mandy too is,
she's not dumb.
And she's willing to take it.
Mm-hmm.
She's willing to be put in that spot. And Mandy's her biggest fault is not being able to put others in that spot. Mm-hmm. When we watch her try to move matches along, it's you know, she's like, she loses a step by getting the other person to that step. Yeah. If she's following Satomura around, I mean, Mandy's gotten her heels knocked off before, you know, because she's playing her part. I would love to see it. I would love to see it.
I think it'd be great. And I also think that Mandy's not dumb and she knows what she's dealing with. I think everybody in WWE, anyone on the women's roster knows Sasha Banks took a hiatus to get her bearings back, to deal with mental health, to deal with suddenly hating the business she loved. And going to train with Maiko in Japan is what fixed that. You know what I mean? I don't think it'll fall flat knowing that I'm going to be in the ring of the kind of person who brings love of the game to a Sasha Banks. I better fucking listen, because Sasha was not walking away during a time when she was on the bottom of the card. She was at the top. She's been at the top for a long time. For her to say that I can learn a lot from a Maiko, I don't think that Mandy Rose is going to be like, I'll teach her a thing or two. I think she's going to be sitting straight up and listening to everything she can. You know, like, that's kind of exciting for the idea of the development of Mandy to me.
Yeah, I almost thought it was like a roster merger almost, so we could just start to see the UK people get kind of like some recognition finally. But after the whole thing with NXT Europe coming out, like, you're gonna see a lot of them go back there, and you're gonna see a hell of a lot more competition there for like worldwide, and it's gonna be awesome. Like,
It's gonna be great.
Can't wait to see that. So Worlds Collide should be dope. So
I don't want to bunch of JD trying to pick apart everyone, because real soon it's suddenly going to be like a head, shoulders, knees and toes kind of a thing, and it'll get real fucking boring. Amanda, we haven't heard from you. What do you think about this main event? What do you think about Worlds Collide? What do you think about how wrong Justin is about Mandy Rose?
Well, first of all, you know me. I love that fucking chain wrestling. And so I was like, Braun? Scooby-Doo moment. I'm like,
I know. I'm watching, like, get in here. I'm like, babe, get in here. You have to see this. Braun's doing wrestling.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, Braun,
that's the thing with Braun. I'm like, fuck. What can't you do, buddy? What can't you do? I'm waiting next for him to do the flippy dippy shit. Then I'm like, done.
He does some flippy dippy shit. He does.
He does a standing moonsault, right?
No, but I'm talking about like on the echelon of like a Ricochet.
I was going to say, he already does a tope over the top rope.
I know, anyway, a lot of people do tope over the top. I'm talking about this fucking,
She's unimpressed.
Like, you gotta impress me.
You can jump really high.
Whatever.
Standing moonsault, whatever. A ton of people do standing moonsault. I probably could do one if I tried. I just don't want to try.
Can do a standing moonsault. Come on now. CM Punk, no. But Colt Cabana, fuck that. Yeah. But no, I know. When I say flippy dippy shit, I want them like, like those like 460s and all those like fucking things that all these little
moves named after numbers. I got you.
Yeah, a lot of numbers. Things that Ocean Spray can't do because he's too fat now. That kind of shit. But if Braun Breaker can do it, there's no reason why Ocean Spray can't do it.
That's a really good point.
There is. It's called athleticism and ability.
That's the best one. Okay, I'm gonna have to remember those when I go.
It's just not being full of shit, but that's tough for some people, like an Osprey.
I tell you, I'm so glad that Braun Breaker didn't fail. Right? Like from the beginning of 2.0, it's been his show. And this isn't even like I called it or Bishop was right. But it was obvious to the outside eye, this is the next Roman Reigns, right? This is who they want to push at you. This is who they're this is who they're going to shove down our throats. But his program with Ciampa was fucking incredible. And the storytelling that he did with Ciampa, right? And then the ability to humble himself by losing the belt to Dolph and come back and get it. And then to continue to see his promo skills and his swagger almost comes off as, Scott-like, right? Where it's like, I'm the fucking man. But every storyline, there's humility to it. So, like, he humbles himself. And is like, this guy I got to fight is really fucking good. And then it shows in the ring. So, even like against Joe Gacy, it was like, if I don't take this guy seriously enough, he's going to brainwash me and, Parker Bordeaux is going to fucking do some shit to me and I don't want that to happen. So he figures out Gacy's plan, goes in there, and then he does Braun Breaker shit. But then he's got to step his game up for a JD and is like, well, what can JD do to me that's going to fuck me up? And then he does this. being able to do that is something that we compliment main roster guys all the time, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a big Daniel Bryan fan, but what's one of his biggest strengths? He can fucking work with anybody.
Yep.
He can work with he can have a Daniel Bryan match with anybody.
Yeah.
Ron Breakker can have anybody's match that he's in the ring with, including his own. He is 24, 25, fucking incredible.
He's 24, yeah.
Incredible to be so fluid, like you said earlier, Marsh, about having speed and power, and to tie all that together, fluidity. I don't think he's like impeccable. But he's very fucking close. He's very close. I think I said it before. Go ahead.
It goes to show you that if they pick the right guy to shove down your throats, we will open up our throats gaping. Amanda, we didn't finish hearing from you, though. What did you think of this match, Amanda?
I thought she was talking about Colt Cabana when I started talking. So
No.
It could have been.
No, I think I was no. Anyways, no, but to go back, like y'all know that I said on episode 1 that I just 2.0 did not like 2.0 when that came about. It took me a while to go, okay, I'm in it. But it was worth that, okay, I'm still going to stick into it because, you know, there's got to be a rhyme, reason, whatever. So now it's at the point of, yeah, there's been some really great things that have come out of it. Some I think you can get rid of. That one tag team that we don't know any, was it Pretty Deadly or whatever the fuck? Go away. Yeah. I don't like that. I don't get it. I don't. Yeah, please no. That immediate fast forward. But for the most part, it's all, you know, it's great. And when I'm seeing Braun, I don't mind Braun Breaker being shoved in my face all the time because that's the future. And it's like if he's this good now, 5 years from now, well, you know, that's going to be one fucking hell of a WrestleMania, like main event, him and, you know, whomever.
Yeah.
You know, so
it's amazing.
It's kind of cool that we get to see that.
He's
in
so
action.
good now that when people talk about who could dethrone Roman, his name is coming up. He's not even on that show. Like, he's not even close to that show. He's literally a champion of a different show. It would be a problem to get him on that show. And people are still like, Braun could do it. Braun could probably do it. That's how good he is right now. That's crazy.
That's 5 years from now. Or if Roman wants to end it sooner, you know, whatever.
I don't know. Whatever Roman's doing.
So
that's a hell of a line, though. He's not even on that show.
Yeah, he's not. It's true.
I still can't get over it. He sounds like Scott. Like, I just can't. Like, you could literally close your eyes and go, oh my God, is that Scott? Like, he's literally freaking 3 seconds away from just telling everybody, if you hear me, and I'll just be like, well, it's that.
Yeah.
He's not a genetic freak yet, but he's getting there.
Not yet.
I was a little disappointed by the hammer thing in the beginning. He only like clipped the corner, and I was like, "Nah, dude, keep going, man. There's like there's more. I don't know what that box is, but keep going, man. Like there's more there. Like keep hitting it." But he like clipped the corner and was like, "That's it. I did it."
Yeah.
But anything else anybody want to say about the show? Or are you guys ready for last call?
I'm ready for last call.
Yeah, we can end it.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to do a part 2 because
Let me tell you that all out day is going to be one day of wrestling.
Well, it's 2 days. The day before we got Clash of the Castle. We're gonna get
that's right.
Dakota Kai, Io Sky against Bianca, Alexa, Asuka. That's gonna be a banger. We're gonna get Drew McIntyre against Roman Reigns. That's gonna be something else. Who's gonna whip out their sword the hardest? You don't know. We're gonna get I'm pitching the show. What is
that? Was bad. The producer lady even thought that was bad too. We're like,
I don't know what problem. By the time he fucking gets like he did in middle school.
Yeah, he's gonna get killed, is what it is.
Yeah.
He doesn't wear it right.
Killed because he's Scottish.
It's not authentic.
That's true.
How do you know?
Yeah, maybe he doesn't dangle as far as you think. Hey, Bros in Time, tell everybody where they can find you and your In Time Wrestling podcast.
Well, you can find me at Twitter at JeremyInTime721, You can find the platform on everything that's not
The
Apple.
show on pretty much every
What did I
platform.
say?
The platform.
Yeah, you know, you can
The
find the
platform.
I'm not used to doing this part, but I'm going to do it anyway. You can find the podcast on any platform that's not Apple, because Apple is it's Apple.
Apple wants to smoke, and that's just all there is to it.
Jeremy, do you work?
I do not.
Do you have access to the Apple ID you guys use for your account?
Probably not.
No.
Let's get you access to that tomorrow. You hit me up. We'll get you on Apple Podcast. Just in time. Tell people where they can find you.
You can follow me only on Twitter at JustinTime211. Again, In Time Wrestling Podcast on pretty much almost every platform except for Apple. Again, if there's not a platform, if it's not on a platform that you listen to, hit me up and I'll see if I can get it on there. Other than that, go listen to the show. We just dropped an episode today, a doubleheader classic pay-per-view review.
Ooh.
Got another one coming out soon, so keep your eyes peeled. We're gonna have our week of wrestling coming Saturday. Probably either try to drop it on Saturday or Sunday morning. So
Usually like Sunday morning. Bishop, tell people where they can find you.
At TWTakesPodcase on Twitter. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Jeremy, for rocking the TWTs from the Teespring site. OG TWTs from TWTakesPodcast.com/TWTs. Everybody here owns one. I appreciate that as well. I've said before, sooner rather than later, because I don't know, about 6 months ago, I was later rather than sooner. So here we are. We are sooner rather than later coming back. I appreciate being able to shockmaster my way onto the scene without stumbling and join this show today. Amanda, it was awesome chatting with you finally. Jeremy, great seeing you for the first time. Justin, my guy, awesome chat with you. Marsh, thanks for having me on. But at TWTakes Podcast on Twitter, and just follow around. You'll see me talking my shit.
Amanda, tell people where they can find you and put up everything you want. What was that? You say you're still terrible? Is that what you just said, Justin? You're still terrible after all these years?
I'm still waiting for the return.
Okay.
Still waiting for it. Most anticipated return in the podcast game.
I think so, yeah.
After all this time.
Yeah. I'll CM Punk myself back into the podcast scene and just show up and do what I do.
Do
Let me tell
it.
you.
Punk's return. Take that, Punk.
I will say this, because I have to throw a Colt Cabana thing somewhere.
Might as well.
Your return, I will say, is more anticipated for me than when Art of Wrestling came back in the original, its original form. And that's a big fucking deal.
I appreciate that.
I love my wrestling because of that show. So it's a huge deal. You can find me at MsAmandaJayne, Twitter, Instagram. And then I want to just kind of, this isn't, I don't know if this is like prepping something. So I am in desperate need of a Darby AEW action figure. If you don't know who Darby is, that's Ricky Starks as Darby Allin. Darby. So if you see one out in the wild, or if you're one of these lucky fuckers that order it from Ringside Collectibles and get not one but two at the fucking chase, or three, there's a fucker who has three. I'm like, what the fuck? Please, I want one. Just to have. I'm not gonna open it up like this one. I just opened up. I have comments about this figure. Not good. But yeah, just please hit me up. I'll pay.
Where can they hit you
I'm
up?
not gonna pay you $100 for it. No, fuck no. But I'll pay you. And then
where can they hit you up? Where can they hit you up? You have to tell them how to find
I
you.
said that. Yeah, at MsAmandaJayne at Twitter and Instagram.
MsAmandaJayne with a Y. Guys, I'm at Ref Marsh. We are at WTR the show. This has been episode 1 again. We'll be back next week for a brand new episode 1. Stay liked, stay subscribed, stay rated, because you never know when we're going to drop some sort of special happy hour over the weekend. Guys,
buy merch.
Buy merch. WrestlingOnTheRocks.com/shop. That's the last call, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with wrestling on the rocks.